Hello and welcome, one and all. I am Jamie Saxon. I'm joined by Braden Ross. We're here for Octane Online Racing, round 10 at Spa. This is the final round of the regular season. How are you doing tonight, Braden?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I had a reasonable race last night. I saw yours had some moments of sadness.
Yeah,
Which
it was
happens.
one big moment of sadness. I lost it at Eau Rouge, spun the car, avoided the wall, which was nice. And I thought, well, I'll just let the whole pack go by. I'm not going to try and rejoin it ratty on because it's the most dangerous thing you can possibly do. One more car was to come through after the field had gone, and unfortunately, they made a small mistake and ran wide and collected me on the way through. But what do you do? I didn't have the best season. I was happy just to lap around for a bit, and then I just left because I was just going to get in people's way. But yeah, looking forward to next season as well. I just registered for that.
What vehicle did you select?
I've gone with the Bentley.
Me too.
In a previous season, 2 seasons ago, I was in the Bentley, and I was faring pretty well, like getting, like fighting for top tens pretty consistently. So we'll see what happens. See how I go. I obviously haven't clicked with the BMW very well this season, but I stuck to it. Doesn't matter that I wasn't winning anything. I was happy just to be on track and racing people and having battles. It's all still fun. But yeah, we'll see if the Bentley can get me somewhere further up the pack.
Yeah, I think I snuck a 13th, I think is what I came. 13th or 14th? Fourth in class. Including a moment on the very last lap on Stavlo? End of Stavlo 1. The car decided that it just wanted to grip a bit more and throw me off onto the side, which is unusual. It was kind of a place where it didn't normally happen, but that's okay. I had a fair gap to the next car behind, so I was able to just get it back on. And I think he might have seen, is there a window? Because he was about a second and a half behind by the time we crossed the line. But prior to that, it was more like 8, I think. So, so it was scary moments. But yeah, I missed my pit box. And I had
That's
manual
typical.
ignition. Yeah.
I confess that I'd change the chase camera when I'm in the pits just so I can really nail the pit box.
That's actually just a good idea. I should probably do that. But yeah, I overshot it, engine off. And you've got to wait to realise that you've overshot it. You'll turn the engine back on, get it in reverse, pull it back.
Yeah, they can be pretty annoying about it when you miss it, because if you don't miss it but you're not quite in it, they'll put the car up on the jacks and then they'll put you back, then they'll move you over and then they'll put you back down and then put you back up, and it takes, I think, maybe about 8 seconds before you actually start your pit stop.
Yeah,
loses you a lot of time.
Yeah, I was in a great battle with Tom Kidman, and then yeah, came out 10 seconds behind him, and battle was over.
Yeah, in fact, speaking of my spin last night, I was actually right alongside you just before it happened. You had taken a position from me, and I wasn't going to go side by side through Eau Rouge, but it didn't mean much in the end because I lost it regardless on my own. I did have a little win last night though, qualifying. I had a purple sector in Sector 1 by the end of qualifying.
Mate, that is... I don't want to take anything away from that, other than to say that Sector 1 has like one corner. Yeah.
Just exit of the century, I think.
Right, so you had like one rear wing and got through La Source.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about it.
Look, that is what matters, right? You've got to be the best at something, and last night you were the best at something. We've got a wet qualifying and a drying qualifying.
Yeah, it's hard to think what's going to happen in the race because practice session was wet, but the way these sessions are set up is this is on a Sunday, but the practice session was the Sunday prior, so it was a week ago. And then the race again is on the Sunday after this one. So
I think that's a miss. I don't think it's a week ago. I think it's the next week. I don't think that Sim's back in time. That doesn't make sense.
Is that what I said?
No, because someone said it in Split Yellow to answer a question. They're like, the practice is on Saturday, but the race is on... sorry, the practice is on Sunday and the race is on Saturday. They're like, it's the Saturday prior. I'm like, I don't think it is. It's not usually... I don't know why they would simulate time in a very different way to the linear fashion that we all know it.
Wow. They don't even have the DeLorean in the game, so why would you?
This season. Maybe next. No. I mean, Philippa's saying that's not how it works, and I don't know which one of us she's saying is wrong.
Probably me. When she always likes to add on a lol after I say something dumb. Very condescending lol.
Time to the same. Oh, apparently it sets it to the same day as the one of the previous session. Because you can move forward a day between sessions. But if you're moving forward an entire week, does it just... it's like you've got something wrong.
I didn't actually look at what time on the Sunday it was. It could all be in the same day. Who knows?
It could be. It could be. The important thing, I think, for this qualifying that is really interesting, for those who haven't spotted it yet, in the top right, you can see that the weather is going to dry out. So the rain is currently... whatever rain level it is. Let's have a look from Madison's perspective. It's yay wet, which isn't that much. It's not a huge amount of rain, but it is decreasing over the next 10 minutes, and it is a 15-minute qualifying session, and it was decreasing in 10 minutes at the point at which we joined, because it's within 10 minutes. It's a bit of a window there. So it will get drier as the qualifying progresses. I think that means that we'll see a few drivers do 2 qualifying runs. It is a long track, so that will cost you a fair bit. It will cost you a lap or 2 of actual qualifying running. But we might see drivers come in, change their tyre pressures around it, and do it again. Or we'll see people stick it out.
Qualifying this way. I really like qualifying this way because the change in the grid coming into the closing stages of qualifying is ridiculous, and it just makes it that little bit more exciting.
Yeah, I've said a number of times, I think mixed conditions, both for qualifying and for racing, adds a lot of value. It really mixes up strategies. It makes it a lot less linear. This is not just hot lapping now for people. This is, how do I drive to these conditions, and how's the track going to evolve? As you can see, actually, it's just popped. I'm not sure if you just noticed. I just noticed it. It's gone to damp.
I did. It has gone to damp.
Now, that'll be a result.
11.5 minutes to go, plus 1 lap for these drivers. It may even change down to greasy by the closing stages of qualifying.
Yes. And I think it goes to damp because of the amount of cars out there forming a bit more of a dry line as they do. They're kind of just powered rain water clearing devices. I don't really know where I was going with that. But yes, it is down to damp. But it was not just my eyes. You can go back, I think, in time on the YouTube stream and see that it was previously in a wet condition.
You can. One of the perks of the YouTube, I think, I'll jump off, and while the next split is racing, I can quickly scroll back and go and watch my low light reel from the race and see if any of it was caught on stream.
That's it.
Regardless of it, rather than having to wait until the stream is done and then a couple of hours after for the VOD to be ready, all that nonsense.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great for instant replay. So if you want to see something as a viewer again, you can just watch it again, and then tell us what happened. Right. So when we see these incidents, we're not sure. You can go watch it again. I will say as well, pitwall.live currently not working. If you know who's currently still connected to pitwall.live from one of the commentary team, tell them to disconnect so that I can start sending it. But until then, we'll continue on and we'll do this the old-fashioned way.
Which it's bloody Bender.
Let's go with
Is he in the grid? Is he in the grid tonight? He's wet.
He is. And it's to Murphy with a $25 donation. Mate, too generous. I saw you dropped more yesterday, I think, as well, didn't you? Out of control, but we appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, first laps are in. Madison with a 2:27.5. Siberius with just a 10th behind him. McCourt a couple of tenths. Boats 3/10. Reynolds 8. And Phillips in the Honda, which Honda is going to be a tricky beast at Spa at the best of times. And these are not the best. So we're going to have some fun tonight, I think. Nichols, the Jag team, have promised us something special. So I don't know if that's the good kind or the bad kind, but it's something. So we'll see.
Now, this championship, we're on the last race. So obviously you want to start looking at the standings and seeing what is going on with the top drivers and the top of Pro-Am and whatnot. Yes. I can tell you that this championship is still wide open. The top 6 drivers in the championship are still very much within the maths to be able to win this. There's 158 points total available, being 5 for pole, 3 for fastest lap, and 158 for the win. Sorry, 150 for the win, rather. Top 6 drivers that we want to be looking at is McCourt, Gallo, Tanikis, that's of the Jean-Pierre variety, Scope Blair, and Oliver Kitching and Ashland Reynolds. All of those drivers still mathematically in the running to win this championship.
There's a bit of excitement yet to come. But not seeing Blair in the list tonight. So
why would he give that away?
I'm not sure.
Oh, so Scoat's out. Huru Scoat, he will finish at P4 or less, depending on where the other drivers finish. David McNulty is in the server. I can confirm, by the way.
So who was that's in the server?
David McNulty, Mr. Bender.
Nice.
Couldn't see his name earlier, but he's set a time now and he's jumped up the list.
He has indeed. Oh, and I've done it again, as always. Options, HUD, full circuit map, confirm, back, go. There we go.
Do you switch to the zoomed in version for your races, do you?
Yes. Yeah, it gives. I feel like it gives you just a bit better view if there's an incident ahead. Because, I mean, I know what the track looks like. And I don't really care where the other drivers are on it, per se. But if there's an incident, then I like to be able to spot the yellow dot coming up ahead. So use it for incident spotting. You know, because you'll often get yellow flag sector 2. You're like, I'm in sector 2. Is that a real yellow flag, or is that not a real yellow flag? Is that right? Is this right around this corner or not? And that's what I find a lot of value in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely better. I feel like it might be a little too close with the zoom in when you're racing, though.
I agree.
If you've got to make a rejoin, it doesn't give you enough time to react. As soon as you put the throttle down, you see another car come into the frame. Sometimes it might be a bit too late.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not always perfect, but occasionally it really, really helps. So, Bender coming in, he's up 2.5 seconds on his current time, which is good because he's 4.5 behind the leader, but there's some quick old cookies out there. And he's going to jump himself up into P17. He's feeling better about that. McCourt, another Mercedes driver though, and we'll start to switch over to the basic HUD so we can see the gaps up in the top left, how much they're improving. 3/10 up. You can hear Spa really tricky as well in these wet conditions. There's a few puddles and a few points of running water that you have to be aware of. Otherwise it can catch you out. The big one, for everyone who's driven in the wet will probably know about it, is up at the top of Eau Rouge. That kind of gentle right-hander that dips down a fair bit. A big old puddle forms there. And if it gets quite wet, it will rip you right into it and then send you into the wall. So you'd either have to be very aware or just avoid it entirely.
Yeah, you're not exactly travelling at a comfortable pace to be able to catch the car either. So if you do catch it, then you're either very skilled or very lucky.
Now, did I just hear McCourt just had to kind of feather off the throttle a little bit through Blanchimont there, just to make sure the car didn't kick around on him. So it's certainly not full flat out dry conditions. Even with his wet setup, he's not able to get there. So, but he's 3/10 off pole at the moment. Boat's holding it with a 2:26.4. Gallo, always the bridesmaid, just a 10th behind. Lamb in that window as well. There's 4 minutes left. Boats and Lamb are both in the pits. They want a fresh set. They want their tyres a little bit better. And it is going to continue drying, so it is going to continue getting quicker. So really, you just want to be on the best set that you can have right at the end. We're here with JP, who's wrestling that Bentley around. It is understeering like nothing else. Just wet conditions as he rides the curb. That pulls him around a little bit uncomfortably. It's kind of you'll be exploring each time with these drying conditions, won't you?
Yeah, I was thinking as we saw McCourt go through Eau Rouge, who's going to be the first to hold it flat? I don't know if we will get the conditions to hold it flat, but there's definitely some big lifting going on at Eau Rouge at the moment.
Yeah, as we expect, we might watch through there. Boat says howdy, I like that. And I should say a big hello. I saw a few folks said hello when we started up. Thank you very much. Hello to all of you tonight. We'll have a great time to chat as we watch this racing. So Sanikas up a full second. A little bit more available in the bus stop maybe. Not quite, actually. He gets a little bit out onto the paint, and that costs him a couple of tenths. However, P7, he'll be feeling a bit better about that, especially with how tricky that car looked. I will follow this through, so I can tell you while this is happening, McCourt is currently half a second up on his time. So he's looking now 6 tenths. He's looking to really put that position to rest. I do want to see how this car handles Eau Rouge in the wet. As well, Robert Shaw is 6 or 7 tenths up as well. So big fight still for pole. Yeah, a bit of a lift. Pulls around. But it's really, I think, those curves and how much are they going to spit you off. That's where the puddle is. It's not too bad, so it's relatively dry there. Let's jump through as McCourt, who's getting close to finishing off his lap.
8 tenths, you can tell that the track evolution is coming into play now.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that hurts. But he's got more time. So we'll just quietly sneak away from that misery for a moment, and we'll have a look at Robert Shaw, who's missing steering wheel because it's a car that I have driven. And I don't have the steering wheel turned on. You can see in 10 minutes it's going to full dry. Will it go to full dry before the end? Who knows? I don't think it will. But Robert Shaw with 7.5 tenths up in the bank already. In the Pro-Am class, will he take pole? Can he hold it? Will some of the other boys and girls, be able to put a bit more time behind them?
Robert Shaw also doing really well within the Pro-Am Championship, currently sitting 4th in class. He is tailing the leader, Honor, by, let me do some quick maths here, a few points.
An amount.
It's about 77 points.
Okay, that's not too
It's
bad.
precisely 77 points. I kid.
Robert Shaw, I think he's been let through by the Mercedes there, able to close out those games. Did cost him a tenth or so. He's got pole right now, and that's more than I can ever say for myself. Reynolds, he'd like it back though, and again, like you're seeing it lap after lap after lap, everyone is improving, and all down the field we're finding gains. I am trying to keep an eye on the top ones, because then as well you can see the top 8 in the left hand side, bottom left. So Reynolds it's kind of hundredths here on every kind of bit of a curve, although he does lose a touch through Puon. Lose a couple of tenths through Puon. Behind him, Boats is up 3 tenths. Bruno Gallo's up 1 tenth. Matthew Lamb's down 2 tenths. McCourt up 4. And he's coming to the end of his lap at the moment. So he needs a bit more again. He's found a bit more. He's up 0.5. See where that ends. Further down the order, Siberius in 12th. He's up 7 tenths, 8 tenths. It's gains all round. And I don't think we've seen Blair sneak on in, so I think he might not be with us tonight.
Right, so that brings down the championship potentials to the top 5, which consists of 2 Australians, a Brazilian, a South African, and a man from Hong Kong being Kitching.
I just realised that we were on an invalid lap that we're watching. So McCourt has taken pole. Sean Madison, he wouldn't mind having a look at it, although he needs a lot. There's a bit of a gap there between Lamb and Madison. He's just pipped Sinakis for the time being. That hurts when you're halfway through your lap. You're like, oh, I'm on to try and contest pole, and then all of a sudden you need to find another half second. Let's see if he can do it. I can tell you McCourt, Robert Shaw, Reynolds, and Boats all in the pits in that respective order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gallo is still out there on a lap. He's not on a gain, but he's not on a loss either. So he only needs a half tenth to jump a position at the very least. I think Honor's just crossed the line and has jumped into P8. 9 tenths off the lead. This is probably the main one. Just keeping a half eye. Gallo's found another tenth, I could tell you, while we watch over Madison.
Yeah, Madison really struggling to find a bit of time here. He has found a tenth and a half in the last couple of corners, but prior to that, throughout all of Sector 2, it was pretty steady at 2/10 gain.
Gallo's found mountains of times through the bus stop. He's found a pole through there. He has indeed. Very nicely executed. However, Madison coming behind. 7 tenths. Need to find 3, which in these wet conditions sometimes you really can. Does find 6 instead. Gets himself into P7. Who else is left? Vandelay's still out there on a gain in a Porsche. Porsche's good. Oh, it's going to be so difficult. Surely. Don't call me Shirley. But
You can see how much time they're gaining coming through. What's that corner? Blanchimont. That's the one.
That's it.
Too many corners, too many names.
And bus stop as well. Just so much more grip as it tries out. Although don't run onto that curve, that will cost you a bit. Still, 4/10 up, jumps himself up into P14. There's one car left, and it was Ryan Green. It's going to be the last across the line. He does find a couple more tenths in himself as well in the M class in a Lamborghini, which is going to be an absolute nightmare to get around. Gets around in P24 though. That's not too bad. And let me pull up these qualifying results. There we go.
Sector 1 time was still the fastest. Just heads up. I mean, they are in the wet, but whatever. One corner.
I'm loving that Robert Shaw and Sabiris duking it out for the Pro-Am are on the second row. So wet conditions obviously always mixes things up. McNulty sneaking into the top 20 in the wet conditions, his favourite, second in class. I don't think he'll be feeling too bad about that at all. So as you see,
I do really like the front row as well, Gallo and McCord. Obviously fighting each other for the championship win, 13 points a margin, both sitting 1 and 2. Gallo is P2 in the championship, by the way, but yeah, has taken pole. So they're going to be going at it for the whole race, I think.
And how much of that did you catch, Hobbsy? So you snuck in?
Past 10 minutes of that.
Oh, I just said nothing. Hurtful.
Yeah, I thought I'd just leave you to it. You seem like you had it under control.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have the race start under control, though.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Oh, is it wet? Oh, it's dry. It's okay. It's fine.
You know full well we have nothing under control in the best of times. We have a semblance of control. The image, the illusion.
Yeah.
But that's all right. So I have managed to keep it up, so I can show you as well for those who wanted to see the Pro-Am and how they qualified relative to each other. Obviously, they're interspersed throughout the rest of the field. 30 seconds. So Emily Kate, go give Brad a big hug, and I think he's got more time in him, and I hope he does for the BMW team because he's our hope and prayer. And in the M class, that is your order. Is Brad the only BMW? He is. He holds our hope and dreams.
So interestingly, the conditions are still damp, but I can't see any of these drivers putting themselves onto any tyre other than the slick tyres.
Awesome.
Oh, who was that? Who didn't press drive? Who was that? Mans. Oh no. And he's come on. He's a race director
I was
too.
going to say he's the man that says make sure you click drive to all of us every night.
Oh dear. We've all been there. I almost missed it last night when I quickly went for a nervous wee before the race. Got back just in time. It was all fine.
We've all done that before.
Yeah, so this should be interesting indeed. Damn conditions. So everyone should be on the dry tyre. We can make sure. We've got a bit of a formation lap, so we'll do a sanity check just in case. So bottom right, we're looking for the dry. Oh no, Luke, no.
Oh, Jesus.
See, the only way you could justify that is if he's going to run the tyres until they start getting too hot, and he'll pit really early, and then just
keep
set
going.
lap after
Who
that.
else are we shaming? Keep going.
No, we're all good. Look, Reynolds has got his lights on as well. That's good. His night light.
Yeah, good.
Oh, no, Lamb.
No.
Look. Oh no,
Brett. Oh no.
Van Vliet.
Oh god.
Oh. Yeah, it's definitely not wet enough for that. Green.
Oh, green.
Sassana. Oh, Philpott.
Yeah, not too sure how much I agree with that. I would have gone dries because I feel like it's going to dry up quite a bit just on the formation lap alone.
I think Roldan's just connected. So that's what's happened there. Even the safety car on the dries, they know. But yeah, look, it might be that ACC's not synced, but I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think you can tell from the sidewall, can you? If we want to try and catch that in the camera. I think they look the same. I'm pretty sure they do. It wouldn't shock me if actually if someone teleports to pits to change tyres if they've realised, because that's probably the. Well, I mean, you could do a lap and then pit in and then try and do the rest of the race on dries. You're really putting yourself at risk.
I wouldn't recommend that. I'll be honest.
No,
I mean,
absolutely not.
it may well rain again before the end of the race. It's a 60-minute race. We can see a 30-minute forecast.
The track's already gone to greasy. Oh, well, that's just goodbye to the wet tyre drivers. You are in a world of pain.
Yeah, so McCourt, the big one there. Now everyone will be tightening up. It's going to have such cold pressures as well. We're being a lot stricter on getting these formations properly, done properly here. There's a word in between in that sentence. And obviously now we start after turn 1.
I've got money on Skittles at Eau Rouge in these conditions.
Or I think everyone will have been given a heads up, but you might be right.
Yeah, my money is on that safety car pulling into the pits now and just driving straight on through to the exit.
So there's a question. What is greasy, Brayden? Yeah, there's a question. There's a comma there. What is greasy, Brayden? It's not Brayden. Is not the one that's greasy.
What is greasy? Greasy would still be like the oils on the circuit still being present at the surface due to the moisture.
I just wanted to imply that you were greasy.
Oh, I'm actually more Australian-y than greasy, I suppose.
I was just saying you're a filthy man in general. That what is greasy? Yeah, it is just a little bit of water, a little bit of rubber, a little bit of oils. It's going to be a bit slick and a bit uncomfortable. But Hobbsy, you've got this. Take it away.
Righto, we got this Gallo on pole, McCourt second. The two Pro-Ams, Robert Shaw and Subiras in the second row there. Then Reynolds, Boats, Madison, Lamb, Honor and Sanikas for the top 10 were away. That was a lot quicker of a green light than I thought. Lambo touching there with the Bentley. Looking okay so far. Oh, never mind.
That's Gallo. That's
Gallo.
Big championship implications.
Yep. Other than that, looks pretty clean our end. It's just Gallo that's been tapped around there. 2 wide down Camel now. 2 Jaguars fighting it out behind. That's a Bentley. McLaren there as well. I think that's Bub now. They're trying to fight off Villanueva. Good start there from Kitching side by side into Lacombe they go.
Did Aston found a completely alternate route?
Yeah, there's a Bentley there that I think had to drop out a bit. Looks like that's Sanikas losing a couple of positions now, goes wide. That's a warning, almost guaranteed, unless it's not a dry enough track for that. Coming down now, round the sweeping right-hander into No Name. This is warning central right. Oh, that's Vandelay.
That's JP. And
it's JP.
And
Van Vliet. Ooh, let's have a another look at that. Interested to see who may have been at fault there.
It's like one car spinning next to a mirror.
Sanikas just span. Oh, no.
His car's gripped up. Yeah. Spat him the way it was facing.
That Lambo almost got collected as well, possibly.
Oh, we've jumped straight back
Audi
in.
Tings. Oh, that's Boats.
Who's that? No, it's not Boats. It's Neil Wood.
Boats. Neil Wood.
Let's have a look here.
Not a good day. Let's have another quick look. I'm smelling Audi Tings here. Let's have a look. I got Audi Tings last night too. And accelerated. Yeah, it's accelerated on the curb. Oh, that Bentley is definitely going to need a change of underwear. So is that Aston, whoever that was. They're definitely going to need a change of underwear after this race.
Yeah, the whole field has done really well to avoid that one. That wouldn't have been easy to dodge at a corner like Pouon where you're on the limit as it is.
Well, Sabiras in the lead. No, in the lead, the Pro-Am. That's the words I'm looking for. Reynolds way deep. Madison behind, going to take full advantage of that. That might be a corner cutting there for Reynolds. I'm not too sure. That was a bit dodgy there, but gets back on. Has to concede the position. There's Sabiras. Probably will concede the position to Madison maybe as well. Nope, Madison right there. Oh, looks for the dive, though, and his teammate. Can he get the better exit? Don't go too wide up, Eau Rouge. That is not smart. I think Madison just made a bit of a mess of the exit, though. Sabiras in P2, though. Good to see Reynolds back in P3 now. Gunnerpool in front of his teammate. Wow.
I can tell you, Green, Susana, and Philpott all in the pits. They will have realised that those wet tyres are not going to work. But Court staying out, though. I think he's going to get hurt real quick by this one. Brito Gallo's still in the pits. He will have had to teleport back. He'll have locked controls. I think he's actually out rolling again now. He's on the pit exit, so...
Oh, Sabiras. Oh, Madison and Reynolds there. A little bit of a fight. Oh, can Sabiras make it? He's going to be around the outside here for the exit of Lacombe. Oh, you got to get a good... find my words. Got a good sniff for the rear end of that Merc there. That's helped Reynolds through. Madison's just going to take this patiently. Sabiras putting up a great fight, though. Oh, a bit of a tap there. A bit of door banging. Nothing wrong with that. Is he going to keep to the inside for no name? No, backs out. That is the smart thing to do. Oh, nearly lives on the curb there. That's going to give Madison a chance to look into Puon. Goes later on the brakes. Ooh, no, he's actually on the brakes there, but gets the better. Oh, I thought he was going to get the better exit. He does, has the inside line, but Sabiras, I think he's still going to look for the dive, or is he going to stick him behind? Sticks him behind. So, third there for Madison now. Oh, I say that. And then Robert Shaw's coming back into this.
It's extremely back and forth. It's making me a little bit anxious watching these two. They're getting so close to coming together. Same with the two at the front. McCourt and Reynolds are getting very close to each other as well. McCourt's not in an entirely horrible...
That's Van Vliet, sorry.
That's all right.
It's just carried a bit wide. Greasy track. Rear end just wanted to keep going in a different direction to where he wanted the front end to go. Yes.
McCourt being on those wets at the moment isn't entirely all that bad, although he has lost the position, so it kind of renders the what I was about to say useless. I was going to say, if he could hold the front and defend...
He's going to pit in.
Is he going to pit?
No,
oh, he's going to keep going.
Madman.
Track's on green now. He's going to have to pit this coming lap. He cannot go any further. I know he's going to try and push those wets.
Sorry, Steve Lewis in the 959 Bentley's had an off at Stablo 1 as well. I saw that in the thing. Sorry, continue.
The more that McCourt can destroy these tyres and put up with them now, the better his dry tyres are going to be in the long run. I think he's pushing it now and taking the risk at the moment, just so when it comes to the end of the race, the tyres that he does eventually change to aren't destroyed by the end.
He's going to lose so much.
Three wide. And there's a McLaren that wants to get involved as well. You're not going to go 4 wide down there. There's not enough room.
Oh, and I need to catch that one again. Just... this one, because the tree was in the ray.
Wrong, actually. Yeah. Oh, just a bit of tap there from the Merc.
Oh, what a save.
Wow, well done. That's McCourt there. Those wets are really having an effect now. I think McCourt's going to have to go for an undercut here. He doesn't really have much of a choice.
Who's off big off at the top of a Rouge?
Who was that?
Charlie Mitchell is involved. I think he's called the back red, so the Porsche's gone round. He's tried to avoid it. Kept it out of the wall. Tyres will be hurting, as has the Porsche. But they'll be able to race on, and that's the main thing.
Just waiting for a clear space in the track to rejoin.
They continue
it's play on, go have a recovery drive, stay on the lead lap, go battle some people, enjoy yourself.
I just want to double check and make sure we've got this right. So Ashland Reynolds is dry tyre, no worries there. Madison, dry tyre, no worries. Robert Shaw, dry tyre. Sabiras, where's McCourt gone? He's been overtaken. Something's happened.
He's P4 at the moment.
He's he's further down.
Oh, he's very far down.
A bit further. So he's on the wets, and I think he's bleeding time. He might have lost traction as well and lost some positions that way, but those tyres cannot be holding up.
If this isn't an in-lap, then the man needs to seek help, because...
Yeah, look at this. Wow, boats on the inside of Brits now. Villanueva just looking for it as well. They've got Bub now, Nichols behind with McConnell and Pignata as well. I think... Oh, we're going to look to the outside. That is disgusting. That was disgusting.
He can't afford to get stranded here as well.
Let's see. He has to pit now. Villanueva, don't go to the inside. McCourt's got to pit now. What's he doing?
Does he not know that he's on wets?
That's an absolute...
It's a Ferrari that's wanting to get into the pits, and McLaren's in the and they've spun on entry. Paul Britt.
Wow, good recovery.
Good spin. Not enough room to do that, but he's made it work. Didn't need to Austin Powers it.
And he wants to cut across and get into the pits. I don't know if he's on wets.
That was well played.
The fact that he got it turned back around as well is actually reasonably impressive.
That's impressive.
If he got that turned around with no damage...
I think when you're in that situation, he shouldn't have hunted
was
for
on
the
wets.
pits then.
But he was on
He-
wets.
I think it was it was a late call just because he's on the wets.
Sorry,
So
boys, we're getting off at Radion.
Oh,
do we? Who's
87,
that?
that's
87.
Phillips.
That's Phillips. Ooh, that does not look good. Let's have a look. Just hit the inside curb, maybe. Yep. And Honda Tings. Oh, that McLaren does not have clean underwear. Someone get that man a change of pants.
And it's Diebol said that there was a massive crash into turn 1 as well that we didn't catch because of the brake difference. I feel like McCourt just doesn't realise. And indeed, how far down is he? He's 18th. So that massive crash has pushed him all the way back down here. Looks like he's having to manage a fair bit of damage.
Oh, Jesus.
Cannot drive on those tyres.
Nah, I think it's a bit unfortunate for McCourt. I think he had a good strategy planned off in his head, and it's just absolutely been flushed down the toilet after that.
Yeah, so what I want to see is McCourt will be coming in very, very soon.
big time.
Surely this lap. But what I want to see is where does he come out in relation to Gallo? Because they are still fighting for the championship.
And props to Gallo. So he completed that lap that he had the incident in, has taken it into the pits, gotten it fixed up, has completed his pit stop. So his prayer will be that it stays dry to the end. For one, he's got enough fuel. But he's got a massive opportunity. Britt coming out of the pits now. It does look like he's repaired that damage, which he probably definitely needed to. Van Vliet, he, I think, has had a couple of tank slappers, so he might need a fresh set of tyres as well. Yeah, chaos. And you've got to feel like McCoy just didn't realise he was still on wet tyres. I would have thought you'd know, because that would be so hot. Can we see the crash? All right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm sure he would have known because he would have had the tyre diagram right there screaming at him.
All right. What's McCourt's car number? I gotta find this real quick. 88.
Well, while you find that, sign-ups are out for Season 7 of Sprint Series. For anyone watching that hasn't signed up, make sure to go and sign up. I know I have. I don't know if these other two have, but...
I signed up about
Definitely.
About half an hour ago.
Oh, right. What card you pick, mate?
Bentley.
Oh, I taught myself how to going the Bentley.
Now,
Yeah, I've had a good time with the Bentley before, so let's try again.
Yeah, I've got it for endurance, so I was like, yeah, we'll go something different.
So at this
Oh, it
point,
just broke at the bottom. Just... Oh, that's...
at this point,
do you
he's
get-
still got a car that's intact and undamaged. This
Is
is...
it Lacombe or something?
It might be coming up here. Oh, no.
Oh, whoa.
even tell
Can we-
why.
What? Can we go to, yeah, as much as I don't want to say, let's go to Chase Camp.
Oh, there's
What is-
so much more
that's
pace on that
Nichols.
Jag.
What's Nichols doing? Oh, that's... Yep. There are no words for the... Oh, that McLaren.
I think I don't think Nichols expected McCourt to come up that quickly because
Sorry,
Nichols
can
is
you go back?
better
Did
than
that Bentley just die?
Oh,
I need to see
I'm
if
not-
that Bentley died after that.
I'm not sure.
Just gone. Yeah.
Sorry, let me
Nearly
get one
killed-
more. I want this. Yes. All right.
Yeah,
Now we'll
just-
finally get it. Okay. He's got so much pace. Right?
Oh, look at the run.
He's looking to go to the outside. Okay, follow. Season opening. I'll come in through there.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I think McCourt. That was McCourt involved, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think McCourt was fixed on that Bentley overtaking. McCourt was just giving plenty of space because he knew that it was a done deal. Didn't see that there was a Jaguar coming up on the other side.
Yeah.
Emily Kate would like a sort of harass Brad to sign up as well. Shafley,
Yeah.
who's in P20 right now. He's come
Yes, I'm
up the
with you,
order.
Oh, Madison up into the lead now. Reynolds nearly just took a bit of a bite out of Madison's left rear, but that's okay. Have you signed up yet, Jamie?
I have. I've gone Bentley as well. So,
Yeah, I'm glad I talked myself out of Bentley
look,
because I knew.
so
I
are
knew what
we.
everyone was thinking, so yeah.
But no, so this battle for P1 and P2 is on and will be on, I think, till about the end. Robert Shaw and Sabiris as well. Just taking a moment to catch up after the chaos of what's happened. If it rains again later in this race, this is going to be absolutely mint. Robert Shaw and Sabiris in the Pro-Am positions, and 3 and 4. Kitching is just behind as well. He's dealing with a little bit of snappiness in that Lambo, I noticed, for a moment, and he'll be dealing with it for every moment. A Jag in P9, A Jag in P10, a Jag in P12.
What is this? A week for Jag. Have a look at this. A week for Jag, Nissan, and Aston. What a race.
Yeah, no Mercedes, no Ferraris in the top 10, no Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, where's Bender gone? Because he was doing all right. He was on a bit of a run. And has he been disconnected? I don't see him anymore. So he may have had a DC issue. If so, that is unfortunate. Michael Manns, after starting in the pits, has gotten himself up into 22. That's kind of been the chaos. Track has just moved into fast conditions as well, just in the last 30 seconds while I've been rambling. So it'll be getting a little bit more comfortable, and I think in particular the Audis, and I mean props to Boats, he's keeping that Audi in tricky conditions, and Audi's just a suicide machine around here. He's keeping it going, he's in 7th, he's doing alright.
So what's exciting me at the moment, so I'm going to keep talking about the championship because that's my responsibility this evening. The thing that's exciting me at the moment is Ashton Reynolds is faring the best out of those people that were potentially in the running to take out the championship. But he is also the person who is furthest away from getting it. If the stars align and the few other drivers that are within that bunch don't really have a great race, Ashton Reynolds could take this out as well. He'll only need 109 points to be able to take it out. And remember, as I said earlier, 158 points available total.
You're telling me there's a chance?
I'm telling you there's a chance that Ashton Reynolds could jump from P6 to P1 in the championship if stars align this evening. And so far, the stars are aligning very well for him.
There you go. Lachlan Nichols, I've just realised, has actually a reasonably damaged car.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact that he's keeping it going. And what was his last lap time? Okay, so his last lap was 2:25.6. And at the moment, conditions have been tricky, obviously. The best are doing 2:20 flats, although Robert Shaw has done a 2:19.5. In the field that Nichols is in, yeah, he's losing a couple of seconds a lap. He really needs to pit this in.
Yeah.
The wheel's only slightly off, a little bit to the left. But you can see behind him, James is just... He comes. And he will take that position. It's one of the things when you're not in a position to be able to fight, sometimes it's best just to let it go, and I think that's where McCourt got caught out. JP into the pits from a bit further down the order. He had a few scraps early. He had that off that we saw. I think it's one of them. Yeah, Bender, I see you got hit. We feel for you. There's been a few of those this race. You got a wet qualifying at least. We take the small wins.
Here's my Bender fact. Next season will be my first season in a front-engine car in Sprint.
There you go. So Roudis is saying Reynolds needs to win, and McCourt or Gallo both need to finish. McCourt and or Gallo both need to finish roughly 20th or lower. So at the moment, he's got it. Can he hold it? We'll see. McCourt is down in 34th. He just lost so much time. And then with the damage and the repairs.
Oh, we can't count McCourt out just yet because everyone's still got a pit, but I think it's Gallo we've got to look out for at the moment just to see where he is. So 25th, and there's still plenty of people who need to pit, so I think he's going to come back up into the top, what's that, top 15, I dare say. So
tell you what, I had the biggest fear that we'd commentators curse when you said we need to have a look at Gallo, and I've clicked on his name. And he's coming up Radion. I'm like, if he bins it now, then we are the worst.
No, well, what do you mean? The talented drivers don't bin it. It's fine. He just got a little bit of a tap on the start and died. That's just racing, mate. It's probably racing incident. Obviously, it might be since there have been no penalties handed out, but...
Diabol's is saying Nichols isn't sure if he should pit to fix it or not. He should absolutely
pit to fix it.
There is... No, well, he's losing just so much time.
Yeah.
So his crew chief should be in the year. Mate, get that one fixed up. So we'll keep an eye a bit further on the race at Boats. Reynolds staying in touch with Madison, although Madison did get a half second ahead in the last lap. And Robert Shaw has gotten away from Sibiris a bit, but Kitching is staying on him.
Yeah, Kitching's on. I'm smelling probably a bit of an undercut here from Reynolds, I'd say. Knowing the time, if he keeps losing that time to Madison, he's probably going to have to go for a bit of an undercut. Or maybe Madison might go for it. Just keep consistent with these fast times. Ferguson got Wood behind. Laurie McLaughlin in front there, and just got Roldan and Atanyaki sneaking in the background there, just having their own little battle by the looks of it. Three-way though. Neil Wood gets a good exit on Ferguson. Ferguson defends the inside of Puon, who's got more balls on the brakes. That would be Ferguson, but Wood's looking for the better exit. Can't quite get it in these conditions. Looking a little bit tricky still. We're on fast track, so times on race will be anywhere between 2:19s and 2:25s, I'd probably say. So fairly even throughout this midfield, probably doing about 2:21s, 2:22s maybe. So, oh, that's Roldan in the background just starting to get involved in this battle now. Woods lost a bit of time, a little bit wide there from Ferguson. Might be a warning.
Who is that off?
Is that Nichols in the wall?
Oh,
It's not. It is. I was going to say, what's happened there?
Oh no.
Oh
no.
I'm smelling
looks like
hardware
a-
issue.
Yeah, it definitely looks like
Does kind of
that.
look like it. You can still steer. Oh. I'm not sure. He's gotten it moving again, slowly. He'll try and find his way home. This is one of the tighter battles at the moment, as far as I can tell. Bob now is on Pignata, but good. This has turned into a four-way. McLaughlin, Ferguson, Wood, and Roldan. Wood and Roldan fighting it out for the AM class podium in the final race of the season. Or that McLaren has to bail out. The Honda has to bail out.
That's close.
That's close. Yep.
It was a game freeze, says Dieballs, and it was a terrible time to have a game freeze.
Yeah, it's not what you want.
Robert Shaw's just picked up 5 seconds.
Ooh,
Yes.
what's that for?
Not sure. We can see the incidents thing, can't we?
Yeah, I'm
5 seconds is usually something pretty minor, maybe just a little bit of
an
conduct.
infraction by
As
the...
we see, Ferguson gets spun around coming through, what's that corner called? Lacombe?
Lacombe.
Lacombe. Les
So-
Combs.
It's a lot of trees here, so it's always a bit tricky to see exactly what's happened. But yeah, just a tap in the back and he's around. That's unfortunate, but damage won't be too severe and he'll be able to keep on moving.
Oh, no. Philippa Bokita in chat saying Reynolds has binned it. F in chat.
Oh no.
Where's...
He's sitting P5 according to the timesheets at the moment.
Just check to see if there's any damage.
It's a bit of a scrape up the side.
Scrape on the side.
Nothing too severe.
That's anything. No, it seems straight. Just maybe up Eau Rouge or something might have kept it out of the wall.
Right, so he's dropped from P2, but... so that last lap, 2:27. So it's cost him 7-8 seconds. Which is not ideal, but it's not catastrophe either. You can make that up. So just flirt with the track limits. That'll be all good. Tell you what, excuse me, Robert Shaw's on a good run. Starting to put in some handier lap times.
Up that 5, and he hasn't pitted, so that's going to put him back maybe just behind Reynolds in front of Honda if he gets a good pit stop. So it's 38-minute mark now. This is when we're going to start to see these drivers think about pitting, maybe going for an undercut. But hopefully by the 25-minute mark, 20-minute mark, most people will have pitted, as we see only 20 drivers left to pit. Lamb is currently in the lead of the pitting drivers, followed by Gallo and then Britt, who I believe has been passed by Gallo because he was in front coming out of the pits. So Gallo's 12 seconds off Lamb, so Lamb's in a pretty good position at the moment to come back into maybe even the top 5, possibly.
Yeah, you might be right. As we jump back into Pignata, having a run on Bub now. James right behind him. It's a triple Jag train, 10, 11, 12. They're doing some special things.
Yeah, so I hear. Hopefully they finish like this so they can sort out whatever they're going to do nice and easily.
Whatever business they have planned, we wait with bated breath.
If you're Robert Shaw at the moment, you'd probably much prefer to have that time penalty added to your race time because he's going to lose that 5 seconds in the pits, which will turn into lost positions, and you'll lose more time fighting people trying to find those positions back.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm definitely right, Jamie. Don't you worry, mate.
It's worth noting as well, I think, because that time penalty is served after the changes happened. So the tyres just get a bit colder. It's a relatively long... Oh no, the pit exit's not too bad now. But if you've got 30 seconds...
Punishment just stacks.
Yep. Yeah, it hurts. But I think if you're in this battle, I'd be really tempted to get in for the earlier pit.
Yes, this is the last season for the Jag. Came in for a one-season wonder. And will be, of course, replaced by the Lexus next season. Of course, the way Sprint Series is formatted has changed a little bit. Instead of putting in your preferences, you just pick the car that you want to drive. So instead of faffing around going, oh, what do I put down? You just pick one and go for it. Can't change, though. There's one rule, you cannot change car no matter what. So
I'll still find a way to complain and blame Mullock for it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But you're in the Bentley, Braden, so you shouldn't have to complain about anything. That literally is unkillable.
It's just it'll just be sim racing stubbornness. It's never my fault. Whatever the problem is, it can't be my fault. Must be the other guy.
He said. We'll find a way.
I'll find a way, don't you worry.
Oh, so Mia says, as it stands, Gallo wins by 11, Kitching in third by 2 points. Thing is, now, Mia, is that with Gallo in P22? Because he's pitted, and a number haven't. So
yeah, can we get an update on the position of JP and McCourt?
Let's check them out. So JP currently in 27th, and what's that make him? 7th of the pitted. We get a welcome when Neil Alexander joins the chat.
Yeah, we do.
There you go. Neil, are you still connected to
yeah.
PitLink, by the way? If so, can you disconnect? Reynolds be 4th, JP 5th. And sorry, Sonikas there, and
32.
who else did you want to say? C?
McCourt, P32, which is worth 0 points.
Now, he's on dry tyres now, though. So that's much better. And he is going to have to do a fair while with that. Oh, Reynolds in the pit. Honnor's in the pits. So those are some reasonable switch-ups. It's hitting about that time, but we'll see where they slot in. Kitching staying with Sabiris. These, to me, are the nervous laps. Especially in something like a Lambo when you're late in your stint and the tyres are kind of the worst that they're going to be for the rest of the race, and you're trying to go up Eau Rouge Radion. But the best laps are just after. When you put on a fresh set of tyres, they're up to temp, and you know you can nail it in a way that for the last 20 minutes you've not been able to. Alright, so pitwall.live should be about right now, I think. There we go. We are up and we are working, so if you want to follow along with any of the race, pitwall.live, and you can see that.
So if you want to stalk the other drivers, head over to Pitwall.
It's a good way.
It is.
We're going to keep eyes on Kitching for when Kitching comes into the pits and see where Kitching will come out in comparison to Reynolds. Reynolds did lose the position to Kitching a little earlier in the race after an incident. Not too sure if Reynolds is going to be fixing whatever damage he may have had. Maybe it was just a spin.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you might as well. Most of the time. I think ACC, the repair times are pretty quick. So
they're
if
quite forgiving compared to other racing platforms, where a small tap on the car can send you into the pits for 20 minutes.
yeah, and I suppose compared to real racing, it's very generous. You know, steering wheel's half hanging off, 2 minutes repair time. Right, I need an entirely new vehicle essentially. 2 minutes 30. We'll sort you out, mate.
The suspension is absolutely destroyed. We'll have it fixed and we'll have you back out before you lose a lap.
It's just, which is probably one of the advantages, because it's better not to be demolished. Everyone's got the same boat in terms of their relative repair times, so that's not too bad. So I'm just kind of curious how that Lambo's handling it. Doesn't seem too bad actually. I thought I was going to see much worse. So Madison in the pits, and Villanueva in the pits as well. So it'll be an interesting one as well to see where Madison slots in relation to everyone who has already completed their pit stop. Further down the order, and I blind clicked on this and I've just jumped straight into a battle. That's fantastic. McLaughlin into the pits. Wood gonna jump, roll down maybe. Doesn't look like he's gotten the drive out of the end of the bus stop. But he's going to try and follow him through. The question is, which of these cars would you prefer to drive here? Because I feel like they're both death machines.
Honda.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I've only had experience, a tiny bit of experience in the Audi, and I beat a personal best within 10 minutes around a track by half a second that I grinded tooth and nail to get. And I was pretty angry that the Audi was just able to punch the time out without hesitation. So maybe the Audi, but yeah, I have seen Audi tings, and it seems like in a long race, Audi tings can happen at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, a long race at Spa in an Audi is a roll the dice sometimes. Philippa reckons that the Audi teaches you to drive the fastest line through there properly. I mean, it's kind of that punishing teacher though, which is just like, you did it wrong, die, try again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right. When I did have my little tryout in the Audi, I had Dan Hunter with me in the Discord channel, and he's like, "Oh, that's fine. You beat your time by half a second around Imola. Now try to do a lap around Spa." Couldn't do it.
No,
Wasn't able to get past Eau Rouge. I just could not do it for the life of me. Oh, it is unbelievable.
It is not kind. So I feel like the great cars kind of gently encourage you a little bit more, and you get to explore it. Whereas the Audi's like, did you die? No? Then you did great.
Yeah.
Basically, that is what it is.
Did you make it up Eau Rouge? Awesome. Now die down here.
Look at this. Robert Shaw, Sibiris, and Kitching have all gone in together.
That's a bit of a...
Kitching will be glad that there's no collisions in the pits.
Yeah.
So we'll be keeping eyes peeled for Sean Madison and Ashland Reynolds to see where they come out in relation.
Wow, Reynolds 12 seconds behind Madison.
Track is still fast as well, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Got to optimum, so it's building slowly. It is a long race, a long track.
Yeah, won't quite come up to optimum, I don't think. Maybe in the last... oh, never mind.
There you go. I do just want to see who looks like they hit their marks well. It looks like Kitching's good. Sibiris, because between the two of them, whichever hits their marks best is most likely to come out ahead. Or Sibiris is a little bit late, I think, on that one. So we will see. Boats inherits the lead, but for a moment, Bub now in the pits as well, as along with Ferguson. Just a little bit of a twitch in the Audi. It's okay. Emily Kate asks if it's better to start in a harder car and learn good habits. Easier car. I think easier car.
I'd say easier car and learn the basic habits, and then you just go from there. Really, you either usually start in the Aston or something, and then you
I
go
think
and die.
that's right. Yeah, I think it's much better to start in an easier car like the Aston or maybe the Bentley, just any of the front engined cars.
Yeah.
And then once you get used to that and you've learnt the fundamentals of at least the mechanics in this sim racing game, then you move on to a different car, and then have that little bit of a culture shock where it's like, oh yeah, this car's very different to everything I know, and then you start learning more skills / habits, and then you go and talk to Bakita, and Bakita will tell you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, I just went balls deep starting this game. I didn't go in the front engine. I just went straight from mid-engine. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, I think it makes it easier to understand what you've done wrong, because the answers are simpler. Sometimes with the Audi, it's like, well, it is what it is, and try to discover what it is that you did wrong that caused you to have an accident or to lose a bunch of time will be very difficult. Whereas with a Mercedes or an Aston, it's usually a lot more straightforward. The hard part for those is usually getting them to be fast. It's easy to be stable. So I think that's the conventional wisdom. And the hamster, to answer your question, yes, your $5 donation does make your text look big. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. I think Neil Wood's about to head into the pits, and I think that's why he's maybe hit a bit of a different line. Just wants to grab his spot. Roll down also into the pits. Avoid that tyre wall, and you're all good. Don't speed in, and you are also fine once again. Now, who did we want to see? So try and find the pit stops. Madison has come out clear air, well clear of Sibiris at the moment. Reynolds is still quite a fair bit further back. He will be feeling on top of the world. But to answer the question earlier about where does Gallo slot in, right now still a few drivers to pit. He's 14th to Madison's 7th with, 6 drivers to pit. So in the worst case, he's in 20th, but I think he's going to be much higher than that. So Roldan, Wood, Mitchell all in. So that just leaves Boats, Sanson and Peterson left to get their pit stops completed. Zach James has picked up a 30-second penalty. I think that is for track limits. And this one they're being replaced from a drive-through with a 30 seconds. Because the drive-through penalties are absolutely furious. Madison there, I'm pretty sure, picked up a track limits for that one unless he lifted.
Yep, most likely. It's not actually that nice around here. Sometimes even if you did lift, it will still definitely give you a penalty. So, be interesting to see. Zach Smith saying, don't touch the Porsche. There's nothing wrong with the Porsche.
What?
Is there something wrong with that Aston, though? Jesus.
Who was that?
Who was that?
That's a Bentley. It's the wrong icon. They look kind of similar.
731, Philpott?
Philpott. Yeah, he's just slotting back in. He's outbraked himself and put it into the wall a little bit. Atanayaki has just taken a trip into the wall.
What's happened here? Is this Lambo spun him, or is he just...
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, keeps it out of the wall. His tyres will be hurting, but the rest of the car is okay.
Well, tactically, the longer he waits to rejoin, the better, because the less time he'll have to spend on those tyres. That's how it works, yeah?
That's an interpretation. Well, I mean, you've got to do the extra lap. Unless he gets lapped by the leaders. No, he's still got... It's more time. You're a fool. No, you're not a fool. You're all good. So we move on.
I'm a bit of a fool.
Well, we all are. But that's why we love each other. Oh, yeah, so this scrap, though. So Madison is just coming up to traffic with Peterson. However, important to keep in mind, Peterson does not need to let him past. He has, but he didn't need to.
No.
Peterson should be coming into the pits pretty soon. No, he wants to stay out. He's feeling all right about that. That's fine. One of the battles that is really going on is this one. Robert Shaw and Lamb. Different class, but same drivers. And you know what they say? Most important person for you to beat is your teammate. Oh, no! Not that way! Not that way!
Too close. Just misjudged that just a little bit. I think we have also missed an overtake between Kitching and Reynolds. Reynolds has taken that position again. Let's have a look at this.
Oh, Robert Shaw's running
He's
wide.
gone for the switch of line. Unfortunately, just the nostrils of that car have just been flared out a little too much, and it's collected the arse. Just had a bit of a sniff. He's brown-nosed it, unfortunately.
So who was the overtake that you mentioned?
So Reynolds is back in front of Kitching now.
He is. He is. And by a reasonable margin. So he's on a bit of a charge. So last lap, he was a second up on Kitching. So nothing too dramatic there. Yeah, he's managed to sneak it past. So well done to him. Mitigating some of the damage from the off that he had earlier. Gallo in 11th. think he'll take 10th off Sanson. He has. He's now up into 8th as all the sectors update.
That overtake is for position in the championship as well, might I add.
Ooh. Kitching. He's still got it in him. He can contest this. But he's going to have to give it his all. 110%, put it all out on the field. Other overused sayings of your choice here. But if I'm understanding this correctly, Gallo just needs to finish the race in a reasonable position, and he's got it. Is that correct?
Yeah. At the moment, he is taking it by a landslide. So after a spin at the very start of the race, to be able to come back and steal the championship win is going to be pretty incredible.
Yeah, McCourt is currently down in 30th. He's putting in very quick times for the conditions. 2:18.7, fastest lap of anyone in the race, I think, is what will have just popped up for everyone who saw the race control. But that damage was just too significant to likely overcome. Boats is out of the pit, so he's slotted back into 12th. That just leaves Peterson. James and Roldan do have some penalties hanging over them. But other than that, we race on. So, everyone's found a fair bit of space around the track now, haven't they?
Yeah, they're all very spread out. There's a big gap between car 959 and car 60, who are not on the list. Yeah, just coming into Lakeroom at the moment. Another one a bit further back just came past Eau Rouge.
Yeah, one of the ones that is here is Bub now, Pignata and Green. So I think if I hover over Pignata, I'll be able to see all three of them. So it gives us a bit of context there. Green doing very well for himself. Might even take the lead in the AM class, depending on where Peterson slots in after his pit stop. I think he will take it, because I think Peterson you could kind of see him on the track map. He's slowly rolling through the pits. I don't know if that means that he's taken it. I think he hasn't stopped yet. The safety car is right at the end of the pits, so I think pretty comfortably Green is going to take that lead. And I should point out as well to Murphy, paying $5 to throw a frog smiley face down. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.
Oh, well worth the money.
Every day of the week.
Speaking of which, end of the season, I decided to celebrate by upping my Patreon.
Oh, what a legend.
I thought to myself, why the hell not? And then I couldn't come up with an answer, so then I had to do it.
That's the talk of a single man, that's for sure. What?
I've been in a relationship for 10 years, Jamie.
Right, well, as someone who doesn't have to justify that to anyone else, you know...
That's correct.
If you've been in it for 10 years, you know exactly what I'm saying then.
I know what I can and can't do.
Yeah. There's a budget.
One heavily outweighs the other. I can't do lots. I can do a little bit.
Do I even need to be here right now? Should I even be here right now?
One day, you'll think back on this discussion and you'll be like, I know it. I know exactly what you mean. It's called being a considerate partner and considering your joint finances in a responsible way, which is not fun, but it is important. And that adult discussion aside, let's get back to a race. So, Pignata, while we were having that discussion, has snuck past Green. Got that done up at Lacoum. Green, I think, maybe a little bit more interested on the bigger prize, which is getting that podium at a 16th, is no mean feat, especially in these tricky conditions. Like, yes, you've grabbed a few positions because some drivers have dropped out, but you didn't. And you held it together and you kept the car in really tricky weather. And got the result, so full props.
Being an adult, what's that? I haven't heard of that.
No, you don't want to hear about it, mate.
Yeah, okay.
It's not that fun. And it kind of is, right? I've got so many Cocoa Pops and Fruit Loops in my cupboard. I can do it.
I was having this discussion just yesterday with people at work. When you move out of home and you become an adult, first thing you do is start eating Cocoa Pops for dinner.
I can do what I want.
Oh, all you can eat for dinner? No worries. I'm going to start with the chocolate mousse. Thank you very much.
What did you have? A wheel of brie? No worries. Right, I've done that. I've had friends come over and they're like, what have you got to eat? I'm like, do you want to eat cheese? All right.
cheese.
Just some cheese.
It's a sad life you people live.
You think so? But one day you're gonna have a wheel of brie for dinner, assuming you're not lactose intolerant, and you're gonna be like, "This is pretty
I'm
good,
not.
actually."
You can get really gourmet with it as well. And,
yeah.
put some butter on some bread.
Yeah.
Gourmet, far out.
Put some butter on some bread, and then put the brie inside, and then put it in a toasty.
See, now that sounds quite nice.
Oh, as Van Vliet, sorry, just gets a little bit loose. Yeah, he's pushing pretty hard actually for Sasana. This is why I wanted to jump on board.
Someone touched the dirt. Someone tell us how that dirt tastes. Someone touched it.
That was Boats, and I tell you what, I don't think he wants to... Was it Boats? Might actually be a lapped car ahead, because Boats is 12 seconds up the road. It's the 186 car. Right, see, look at all the people. They know. In the chat, they know. Bit of cheese. All good. So Mia doing the sensible stuff, the hard yards. Says Gallo right now on current standings 889 points, Reynolds 819, McCourt by 2 points.
Wow, yeah. Sasana's making a right balls up here. Just didn't quite get the exit that he wanted there. Coming onto the straight.
That's it. Reynolds, McCourt, Kitching, those are the ones that really matter. Reynolds and Kitching are right alongside each other. Kitching can get past, as you said earlier, Braden, and that's huge.
Yeah, so there's an 8-point deficit between the two positions that they're in. So yeah, they will be, if they trade positions, they're trading position in the championship, not just the race.
That's it. And what position does McCourt need to get into to start to get points?
P30. So I believe he might be there. Although there is a 10-second penalty. There's a 10-second penalty hovering over his head, so I'm not too sure where that will place him with the cars behind. I have a feeling he'll be able to break away from those guys that are behind. So 29th, that will give him 3 points.
Yeah, that's it. Although, oh no.
McCourt will get 0 points.
Yes, he shall.
I've gone back 20 seconds and I can't see what's happened, I think.
I think he's just stopped
That's
himself.
a big off. Well, I mean, the car doesn't look healthy, so I think he's given that one up.
It's that looked like a head buried into the wheel kind of moment. Like it's over. There's no coming back now. As everybody picks up a track limit coming through Radion.
Meanwhile, sorry, I've got to go back. Well, I think we're going to see another one. That's JP. What's he doing here?
Yeah,
I thought he was further up the order.
Getting the Porsche on the straight.
He was sitting P14. So where is he now?
Well, 13 because he's overtaken Van Vliet there. And I think by the time we catch back up to real time, we might see him overtaking Sasana. He was on a tear there. Maybe it's... I think the Porsche really struggles for top speed though at the end of Kemmel. And it's all about Sector 2, if I've got that right. Mia says McCourt will get 4 points from quali at least, so that does help him. And there we go.
Yes.
We've come back to real
I do
time.
have that acted in.
I'm going to go back another 15 seconds. I'm going to have a look. There, Sasana's run wide through Pujon. So, JP, 2 corners in 2 sectors, 2 positions in 2 sectors. That's not a bad pace. And Van Vliet and Sasana can continue on their little scrap.
Yeah, so Seneka's currently sitting P12. Still not quite enough to be creeping up the order in the championship. He's currently going to be staying put at the moment.
He's on this one feels like a slow boil.
Actually, I correct myself. He will not be staying put. He is provisionally losing a position in championship to Kitching and Reynolds.
Yeah, they're doing quite well. Kitching staying pretty much on top of Reynolds in terms of times. Their last laps, 2:19.1 and 2:19.1. 300 separated them, which is practically nothing. Someone's off. That's the 156 car. That's an Iyaki, and he's teleported to pits. I think he has indeed. So that was an off at the end of Puon. Porsche things have occurred. So what is their top speed? And I heard
260.
I thought it was in a
260 something.
We've got a toe.
262, I think.
It's not too bad. 261.
Not even 262 with a slipstream, so it must be in the 50s.
Yeah, that is actually pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah, Philip was saying only 260, so slow.
I was only getting 263, I think.
No idea what I was getting. Fast and then
Yeah,
death.
Beamer wasn't massive at the end of the straight.
No.
Which we fall back onto me getting fastest sector 1. The Ferrari would have dominated me after Eau Rouge and Radion, so please don't take this away from me.
I want my wins, and I want them on
It is
my
my
turn.
It is my purple sector 1. No one can ever take that away from me. The session has ended.
That's it.
It was good enough for P22 after qualifying.
We'll have another look here as this goes on, and this is Pignata on Bub now. Chasing him for a while. But, the gap closed up in the last lap, 4/10 gained by Pignata, relatively speaking.
Yeah, so Mia in chat, provisionally Gallo would actually be on 894 once you factor in Robert Shaw's 15-second time penalty.
You gotta go deeper into the matrix. So Gallo, but either way, Gallo very comfortably is going to take this win, but it is Reynolds, McCourt, and Kitching. So Reynolds currently in third. He needs a bit more, but Sibirus is kind of 4-6 seconds ahead of him. So that seems very, very difficult. 10 minutes left to go. The sun's come out a bit from behind the clouds. We're going to watch the end of this race and wonder where all the drama was, and then go back and go, oh yeah, I remember, it was there. Yeah, Paul Kranich, as Ryan points out, yeah, the fact that McCourt's not getting any points this race means that Gallo just needs a couple to get him across the line. And keeping in mind, Gallo's tyres are going to be shot because he's been on them for about 58 minutes. But he's done what he needs to do. He just needs to get it to the end. Although at the same time, he's doing 2:18.8. It's pretty respectable.
Not too bad.
I'd take that. Especially on 40-minute old tyres. And potentially a hint of fuel saving, depending on how well he got the numbers right. Let's jump back up here a little bit. Let's maybe spend a little bit of time with Kitching on Reynolds, because this is really quite impactful. So if I've got this right, if Kitching can get even one position, he's going to jump one spot or two. So I think there's more than a 6-point swing.
Yeah, so I said 8 point earlier. It is a 9 point now that I've factored in Reynolds' point for qualifying. I didn't see that one. I think Mia's math has given that one away for me. But yeah, so currently 9-point swing between Kitching and Reynolds, between those two, but they are currently both ahead of Sneakers in the championship at the moment. Sneakers was P3, now sitting P5, I believe.
That factors in that Reynolds would lose positions and therefore lose points. Relative to Kitching in terms of whether or not they jump each other.
Say that again. That was a lot of words, and I'm thinking about a lot of things at once.
No, that's all right. At best I can do one. So Reynolds 819 and Kitching 810, based on their current points. McCourt out, obviously. So if Kitching overtakes Reynolds, he also overtakes him in the championship. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct.
And therefore he would also overtake McCourt.
Yeah. So yeah, correct. So yeah, it's between those two. It's not just their own positions in the championship. McCourt's is floating around the two of them as well.
There you go. So 2 positions in the championship. A 3rd place on for Kitching if he can get this position. He's got 8 minutes to do it. Last lap he was 0.3 quicker. But goodness, it's going to be tough. Which car would you all rather be in right now?
Probably the Nissan.
In terms of tyre wear, Nissan. In terms of pace, probably the Lambo.
Yeah, I feel like that's it. The Lambo's got a little bit more potential. You'd rather be ahead than behind, right?
Yeah,
Always the
but-
car ahead. It's a good guess.
Yeah, I think it's a case of, is Kitchen going to kill his tyres before he catches Reynolds? Because if he does, then he's in a world of pain. But if he can catch Reynolds, I think he'll get past with ease down a straight or something. The Nissan is good here, but I think for the sake of pace, I'd probably prefer to be in the Lambo.
So I think for me, the car I'd rather be in, I'd rather be Scope with the ability to just change the results. That's probably the big brain answer. Why race when you can just say that you won?
Yeah, that's about right.
The other question is then, how much further does the Sneakers need to get up to in the orders to match, say, McCourt's 816? So he was 794 as of now. So he needs a couple more positions, right?
To match McCord's 816, yes, he will need 4 more positions. So let me just look at the...
Oh, and that's a huge ask.
Yeah,
He's got to close a
positions.
14-second gap to Boats. Oh, he's kitching. Over-rotates it.
Yeah. That's the rear tyres just going off around now. That's what I was saying in terms of tyre wear. Nissan's good, but pace, just the Lambo. Just that little bit better around here. That's the only real reason I wouldn't drive the Lambo around here is that rear tyre wear.
Sorry, correction. He'd need 5 more positions to exceed it.
5. There you go. Mia's pointed that one out. Yeah, Diabols, we've been heralding the approach of the Shaguars. They've got something for us all, and we will witness it. Yeah, this one I think will go down to the end. I mean, he's having a run at it. He needed 14.5 seconds, and now he needs 13.5 seconds. It's, his last lap at 2:21.4, he needs to be a lot quicker than that. Although he did a 2:18.5 before. Which in these kind of conditions is a very good result.
Just going to start having a look at these Pro-Am numbers as well, and I'll get back to you.
I think that is the big question, because Sabiris in P2, and reasonably comfortably so, he's on for a big whack of points.
It is a fat stack of points, but the top 4 Pro-Am drivers are pretty far out of reach compared to where Sibiris is sitting. To be able to get 1 position, he will need to collect 108 points.
Seems like a big ask.
Yeah, 108 points above the next driver, who is Robert Shaw, sitting in P5 provisionally, around P8, P9 after the penalty.
Yeah, so is Robert Shaw in the lead of that class, or?
No, so Robert Shaw is P4. Honor is the one that is in P1. So Honor's in P6. Honor's looking really, really good to be taking this out at the moment.
Yeah, you'd have to say so. So Kitching, he's gotten himself back in 3/4 of a second. I wonder if Robert Shaw... You're in Robert Shaw's position right now. Are you trying to mitigate that 15-second penalty, or do you just stay out of this fight? I think every man for himself, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't know what else is happening outside that little delta sheet that you've got. It's hard to really tell. Because as far as he's concerned, Madison and Sibiris could have 30 seconds over their head that he could possibly exceed into, but he doesn't know because he doesn't have that on that delta sheet. The only way of knowing is he may have the stream open, or he would have a crew chief on side, but not many people utilize that.
I just assume everyone's got the stream open at all times, as they should. But then again, I wouldn't listen to myself, so yeah. To each their own. Well, I mean, I do inside my head every day. Anyway, so here we go. This will be this lap plus 1 more, I would suspect. So Madison is a fair way up the road. It's just crossed the line, actually. So with this lap and 1 more, and that's all the time Kitching has. We'll probably stay with this to the end, I think. Sasana is still on Van Vliet. Those two are scrapping it out a fair bit. And then straight after, we will find the first place Jag, and we will watch what they have to offer. So Kitching, the small issue is that Robert Shaw is behind him. And now, as much as he only wants to look ahead, Robert Shaw's fast. To 18.7 last lap. He might need to look behind a little bit as well, which is just not what you want right at the death. The question is, at this point as well, how many track limit warnings do you have left? So
Probably not many.
Yeah, you might just be tempted to push a little bit more at Redion. Gotta be careful about it. Gap certainly looks tighter than it has in a fair while. Only 6/10 at the last split. Me assist Robert Shaw, P8 with the penalty. I think you're right.
Yeah, that's correct. So that'll be... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at these numbers all wrong.
Carry the two.
Error data, error.
Yeah.
Oh, big errors. In the sign-up form, I just put data entry as an option for OOR as well, and this is not a good resume right now. Not a good display of data entry. I'm under pressure. Give me a break.
Handles pressure well. Feels like Kitching's closer. He's just inching closer, but Robert Shaw's inching closer again. You can see him in the mirrors, hounding.
Oh,
Really hounding.
Oh, don't... Jesus, he's really gone for...
Almost want another view of that one, to be honest.
Okay, so just quick update on Pro-Am Championship. As it stands, top four are Honor, Sasana, Van Vliet, Robert Shaw, all within contention of taking out the win. Currently, the only movement there is Robert Shaw taking P3 from Van Vliet. Honor and Sasana remain the same, P1, P2.
I'm going to forget that in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, so something like that. But final lap now. So Madison P1, Sabiras P2, Reynolds P3, Robert Shaw P4 with that 15-second pen. So that will allow Kitching to get that P4 from him, Honor, Gallo, Lamb, Villanueva, and Britt. So Sneakers is not really caught up to Boats like we thought he might. Really just holding that split. Boats has had a very good race, P11 at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan Hooley suggesting that Robert Shaw might have chugged a mushroom, gotten the speed boost. That's
wrong.
That's a
Star
Mario
motion.
Kart, a Mario Kart motion.
It's
mushroom.
no. Mushroom makes you big.
What?
The mushroom makes you big.
Mushroom makes you fast.
Oh, that's
Mushroom
the boost.
makes you fast. That's a boost.
I'm thinking about real Mario games.
No, here we go.
I'm like, what has happened to Mario Kart where a mushroom just makes you big?
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, this conversation notwithstanding, I think
Whatever.
for Kitching that means any chance that he has on Reynolds is long gone. He'd have to get back past Robert Shaw and then through Reynolds. So Robert Shaw, in mitigating the 15-second penalty, which he is absolutely entitled to do, there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever, and he should. It really has put this out of reach for Kitching. So I think the standings, as Mia pointed out previously, is pretty much where it's going to be. Gallo, Reynolds, McCourt, Kitching, and JP as the top 5 overall, and obviously in the pro class. And Braden will remind me later, or remind us all later, of who in the pro-ams. Assuming I've got that right, Braden?
Correct.
Oh, fantastic. Well, let's find one of the last scraps. And hello, Bruno Gallo, after being spun out at the top of Radion on lap 1 from pole? P2.
Yeah, from pole position.
P2? It was pole position.
It was pole
Recovered
position.
all the way back up to 7th. That'll be bumped up to 6th, courtesy of Robert Shaw's penalty and a championship lead. I think if that's not a fitting end, even in adversity, with a very early pit stop, he'll take that out. That is outstanding work, and caps off a season. I'm sure he would have liked to have won it outright, but I think to me, really a sign of a really fantastic driver. Now, the first Jag to cross the line will be Zach James. Been promised to watch, although I should catch Ryan Green. He's just ahead, so we're catching him anyway. It's worth pointing out, in 16th, in the AM class, he's going to take that class podium win. And that's a very, very good drive. Even Mike Mann's managed to jump up a few positions from the 36th, I think he started, in the pit lane by not pressing drive. Oh, it's the Jag. Just, I don't think that's what they wanted to show us.
No, it probably isn't.
Neil Wood behind as well.
Yeah, so great positions for both of those AM class drivers. They were P1 and P2 in the championship. Wood holds on to P1 in the championship for AM class, so well done to him. Green takes out P2. Well deserved. They've been great all season.
Yeah, very well done, Connor. It was McCourt who was on the wets, not Gallo. Gallo was on dries.
Yeah, Gallo had a spin at Eau Rouge on lap 1 at the race start, so it was a bit devastating at first. Only one thing went wrong though. Everything else went right for him. McCourt, on the other hand, everything went wrong today for him, and unfortunately, it's pushed him from P1 down to P3 in the standings.
That's it. All right, isn't Aston trying to get in the way of what I suspect is a formation Jag?
Imposter! Call a meeting.
Get out of there.
Oh!
Jag has to fight his way through.
Who is that, Aston?
I don't know. We wait for the cameraman to catch up. Come on. There we go. Look at that. It's just a very busted up Jag.
Hello, Jag. Ooh, there's a Lambo that's joining the party.
Yeah.
That's a destroyed Jag.
It is.
He's not happy. So it's 7:31 is the Aston trying to sneak in. Who's that? That's Gary Philpott. And is that McConnell maybe in the... Another Jag getting involved. Is he just going to get out of my way? We're here now.
Yeah.
It's been great to see the Jags. They're a very fun
It
car.
is.
Get out of there.
I think this is the only split as well where all Jag drivers turned up until the end of the... Whoa!
Gone.
Get rid of that car! Wow.
They really didn't want to be in that Jag anymore.
Oh, I can't even go back because it's moved to the next session. Oh dear. Now, how long do we have? Oh, we're into the next qualifying. So I assume that that's what they wanted to show us. So we do need to jump over to the next one.
Yeah, also, just a quick hats off to Honor for taking out P1 in Pro-Am as well. Tailed by Sassana in P2, and Robert Shaw, I believe, has taken P3, just ahead of Van Vliet.
Oh, fantastic.
Green light, go, go, go.
It's been great to see. As we jump into a very dry looking Spa-Francorchamps for Split Red in qualifying. They've already kicked off. I need to that one as well just to show the timings. Not sure why it's in GT3 only, but it doesn't really matter because that's all we care about. And we rinse and repeat. What I will say, in terms of the weather, a bit sunny, but a bit windy.
Yep. Yeah, right.
I don't know why that was so shocking.
I've never
Yeah.
seen winds that strong before in this
Yeah,
game.
oh, I've seen winds stronger, but that's quite strong for this time of day. But the thing, I don't know if this server's set up differently to how ours was, but ours actually went back an hour for the race, so this might just be total garbage we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's the herald of change. And I've wondered, and I don't think I've ever found a reasonable answer as to whether or not in ACC they simulated the kind of weather conditions that various tracks have. But obviously, Spa, well renowned for just bucketing down almost out of nowhere. So we see the
And
drivers
flooding the bottom of Eau Rouge. I'd like to see them try and drive through that.
Well, for those of you who saw the 24 hours of Spa ending, I know we all talked about it. That was
Yeah, we did.
I mean, it was an outstanding ending, but there was some boondoggles to be had.
Yeah, it's even more exciting now this weekend, Saturday, midnight Sunday, really. The 24-hour Le Mans will be commencing, so looking forward to seeing that.
That will always be a good bit of excitement.
Now, this isn't usually a split that I sit in on, but I figured while we wait for JP to collect himself after the race, just thought I'd have a look at these standings as well, because I'm the standings guy tonight. Only the top three are in contention to take the win. It is, respectively, Zachary Smith, Sean Jacobs, and Jake Baldwin. There is a deficit of, let me do maths, 89 points between the three of them. Is that right?
And where's Floyd?
That sounds about right.
And where's Floyd as well? Because Mia reckons Floyd.
Floyd has 823 points, so that is not within the 158 required to leapfrog Zachary Smith.
What if he gets pole and Smith gets 0?
Yeah,
Is he
no,
within
100
155? I assume not.
No, he's not. He is 199 points away from Zachary Smith.
Gotcha. Mia has confessed to doing a dumb.
We all do
No,
it
we've
now.
all
I've
done a dumb.
it
Yeah,
heaps. I've done it
we all
heaps,
do
right?
dumbs.
Hey, if you can do a dumb, then join the OOR commentary team. 'Cause that's what we're about.
Come join me. I dumb.
It'd be good fun.
Yeah, before I step away after JP joins, I just want to say it's been a great season with you two gentlemen. We'll be doing the finals, of course. We will be back to be doing finals, but end of the season, just want to say great season with you two blokes in the commentary blocks,
Yeah, but
in the commentary box.
end with a great season. Yeah, great sentence. Oh, I can't even speak now. That's your fault.
No, it's run real smooth all season, and it's just been a pleasure with you two. So we have pro wins, pro am wins, wins, and wins for my love. You guys are tied in P1 for my love.
Likewise, mate. It's been
it's been bloody brilliant.
absolutely lots of fun all the way through. It's been a request to see David Mason qualify. We'll catch one of his laps, and indeed that one's about to start now. It's in the early laps. You know what? You can have that. You can have a cockpit view as well if you so choose. So this is Mason's first flyer. He's in the Bentley, which is why it always looks a little bit odd to me, especially coming through Eau Rouge. Like, how on earth can he have his car in that position?
Isn't this your day-to-day?
I mean, I haven't driven anywhere in quite a while, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not mine either. I've never driven a Bentley.
No. I mean,
No.
you have the
I've seen
driver do that
Does
for
that
you.
count?
You pay someone to do that for you, right? Like, they drive, you sit in the back.
Yeah, well, that's what. If you have a Bentley, that's what you should do. But I mean, does me seeing a Bentley count? I haven't been in one.
Oh, that counts.
It's looking pretty composed. So Mason in the AM class. We'll be looking for a big bag of points. I'm not sure what the AM class standings look like. What's the best car you have driven IRL is the question from Dieballs to us all. I do miss. I used to have a 370Z, and I do miss that a little bit. But
I'm gonna sound like such a bogan here.
If you say Commodore, I swear.
Nah, it's similar. It was an LH Tirana.
Actually, my favourite is my first car, which was a 1976 Civic, 2-door, 2-speed. Loved it. Nissan Cube, says Chris Whiting.
Actually, no, screw that. I drove a Tesla last Christmas. That's the best car I've driven. Dual axle as well. Dual axle motor. Very quick. Very quiet.
I know a friend of mine wrote off his father's DB9.
Oh, I want to be sick knowing that. Oh, what a great car too.
Yeah, there's a story behind it, but it's not one to tell.
I don't think I want to know that story.
Oh, Kai Rudin with an Aventador. Very nice.
Yes, I can back him up on that. I have seen evidence.
Holly with a Murcielago. Berger with a 911-2 GT3 RS. So much better than my answers. Daihatsu Charade 92.
That was me. That was my first car.
Pure class. There we go. So Mason comes through as requested. So his first lap at a 2:21.8. He'll be looking for a little bit more, but that is one of his laps. Now, though, we will be looking for some big gains, particularly through the pointy end, as we should. For some reason, I'm on the electronics panel. Not sure how I've managed that. Let's go there. That's probably a little bit more appropriate. This is Ben Floyd here. It needs 4/10 to try and take the pole from Smithy with a 2:17.15. Fowler. Shout out to the team Jag, Mettings, Parkin and Clayton. We caught you all. Thank you very much. Diebols, Toyota Corolla. Conan's got an R33 Skyline as his. There's Paul Berger with a Fiat Multipla. Not sure what that is, but it sounds fantastic.
You don't know what a Fiat Multipla?
Is that really, really little car?
I'll look it up.
If it's what I'm thinking of, do you remember?
You don't know it. I'm not entirely sure.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
if it,
no.
Yeah. It's what I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, Paul.
Look at that thing.
I can tell. Yeah.
What a joke.
It looks like a car that had an accident with another car and kept going.
That's almost as good as that blue three-wheeled car from Mr. Bean.
You know
the
in ACC,
Reliant Robin Supervan, yeah.
You know in ACC when it spawns cars inside other cars?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. That is hideous.
Yeah, it's actually hideous, isn't it? One of the best looking cars of all time if you're blind. Yeah, Stevie Wonder would love one, mate.
There's some great answers.
Oh,
Civic
Floyd.
Type R, a BRZ rally car. That'd be fun.
That'd be pog. I can't say that, can I?
Well, I guess you can.
Yeah, well, I won't. 3/10 up, Chewiette, Smee, 4/5 up out of the exit. Oh, lost a little bit of time on exit. A lot of people doing that just under 4/10 game P4. Good time, 17.6.
That's it. And we're seeing a few jump into the pits, get a fresh set of tyres, do a couple more flies now. They're feeling good. Dale Lawson's up a second on his current time. His last was a 2:21.2. So he's looking to make a little bit more. He's a BMW driver, so he gets a little bit of extra attention, as they should. It's just the law.
Well said.
You can't stop me.
Yep. Yeah, BMW drivers outweigh other drivers in this chat. I don't even know what car you're in. You're always so far ahead, Hobbs. Were you in Honda?
Audi.
Audi, that's the one.
Honda was last season, mate.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's okay. I don't expect you to know your
The
seasons.
same car. They're the same car.
they're
You get a
not.
spin in it.
Lawson jumps himself up into P19 with a 2:20.8. I think he'll be looking for a little bit more, but that's still quite a good start. Neighbours up 2/10 on his current lap. It's quite early. Rashudi's up 2/10. And Bruno in the chat. Very well done, mate. Very unfortunate about the lap 1 incident, but a fantastic recovery and a great championship win.
Yeah, it was
Well,
well
man of
done.
the moment. We thought it was kind of championship over after we saw that, and then just after the pit stop cycle, you crept your way up and you got yourself into such a good position, and there was a bit of a landslide after the points came into effect. So really well done.
That's it. Janice Tully with a Renault Fuego. I love it. So see, Rashidi find another half second there, lose a little bit, but picks it back up. Kind of ebbing and flowing for Rashidi there. I'm just having a look through the rest of the order. Unlike last one with drying conditions and therefore an improving track over all through, seeing massive as many changes. Neighbours up half second. I can see on his lap. Stuart Matthews in P19's up 4/10. And they're closing on theirs. So we'll see how the order shakes up. But right now, Zach Smith's 2:17.15. It's a bit untouchable. Rashudi's really is ebbing and flowing, isn't it? It's always hard to tell because sometimes you'll see a driver just pick up a massive bank of time at the bus stop because it's a tricky point to get right. It's unlike anywhere else, I think, on the rest of the lap, really, isn't it? Turn 1 maybe comes close. It's one of the few very slow parts.
Yeah, I'd say probably I reckon bus stop might actually be slower than turn 1. That second part of it. First part's pretty fast. The second part, you really got to be slow in to get the right turn in for. So I'd probably say the last final corner is probably the slowest corner, to be honest.
Yeah, you might be right. Now, Powell here, 4/10 up. He'll be looking to consolidate that a bit further. This will get him up a couple of positions, although there's a fair gap between 11th, 12th, and 13th. Kind of a second window in there. Powell does hold 4/10, so it'll get him a couple of positions up into 13th. There was a shuffle around. I saw someone else pipped him briefly, and then he's taken it back. Throughout the whole order, there's not that many changes now. Just watching over Leonard Scott.
It sounded like a sneeze.
Yeah, that was me trying to hold on to the sneeze and mute the mic, which I muted the stream one, but I didn't mute you guys. So you heard kind of a very uncomfortable one.
I wonder what the hell that was, to be honest, but that's okay.
Trying to hold on to a sneeze is just such an uncomfortable feeling. Oh, Corey Sweet, 1980 Ford Escort 2-litre rally pack. That thing is probably worth just so much money now.
Not enough Daihatsu charades.
That's, well, always. Smithy was a 10th up, as was Ben Floyd. Floyd, however, has lost that time through the later part of that lap. This will be his last
looks
flyer.
like he lost a lot of it in the bus stop. He clobbered that inside curb on entry.
That'll do it. Let's go slightly better exit, so a 1/2 set himself up. Let's see if he can get a good run through turn 1. Looks about the same. So, assuming that he holds, or he'll be fine. Let's jump over to Sam Misson, who's found himself 2.5 The car 700 has pulled off, so that's Dale Lawson. He's done.
What are we at? 0.18 of tenths. Misson's up. He needs. Oh, there's that time. 3, nearly 4 tenths. Yeah, and he needed. What's that? 1.7 tenths up to get past Rashuti, but 4 tenths up will put him up into the top 5. Just loses a little bit of that coming onto the straight. Let's see if he can try and claw some back coming through Blanchimont and into the bus stop.
Yeah, even just that 3 tenths might just be enough for a top 5, but you kind of want to solidify it with that extra 10th. You're always looking for another 10th.
No one will turn a 10th down if they can take it. Submission. Jump in a position. Looks like a slightly better exit, but a little bit scrappy. 2 tenths, so jumps him up into P7. Gets ahead of Rashuti, but doesn't quite catch up to Gibbons. Looking through the order now, I'm not seeing any more big wins. Girardi's a 10th up. And he's going to be one of the last. There's only 7 or so more drivers doing laps.
The ideal
Nice
line,
donut.
Girardi. He's losing time with that interesting line. He's about 6 seconds down at the moment.
Brewstock not feeling comfortable in the Audi. Not surprising. I think he's only put in a couple of laps. But he's found a little bit of pace at the moment, which he needs, because right now he is last of anyone who's actually set a time. And he is one of the few left lapping. He is on a gain. And I think, yeah, the 2 cars behind him. Not on valid laps, so this will be the one to the end.
I have just been informed by the race director. Ooh, that should have been a cut. That car numero 63 has been given a 4-place grid penalty for blocking during quali.
I want to do that. So it's Fahad Kapoor has unfortunately gotten that. Right now he's qualified in P9, so he'll drop down to 13th. And that will promote Semis Holmes into the 5th row of the grid. It's a 10th position, which is kind of one of the more impactful ones.
Good timing. JP's just entered the commentary box. How are you, mate?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, not doing too bad, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, good. It was exciting to watch that race, and I was just a hamster on the standings and doing maths the whole time, so it was exciting to see what happened there. Didn't quite go as well for you as it did for others, but still a great race nonetheless. It was a good recovery towards the end. We
Yeah,
saw
just
two brilliant passes on two Porsches in just a few corners, so that was super impressive to watch too.
yeah. Luckily, they do about GT4 speeds down the straight, so that of course helps.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. No, it's how was that in the first few laps? Because it looked pretty scrappy all throughout the field.
It was very, very fucking slippery. There was almost no grip because the track was, well, it started damp and then went greasy pretty much immediately. So it was super slippery. That's the reason for my first incident just coming out of Bruxelles. The car just said, nope. And I went into the Porsche, unfortunately. And then, yeah, all the bad things I've said about Jag has come back to haunt me. They had two little oopsies with a Jag. So I think they said goodbye for the season and said thank you for all the negative comments. But no, it was fun trying to come back and fun trying to go through the field.
I do love a good recovery drive. It is fun. It's obviously you're a bit gutted when you get buried back into the pack after an incident, whether it's your fault or not. But afterwards, a recovery drive is always super fun.
Yeah, it's especially frustrating when you see your pace and you're matching the leaders and you're stuck in 30th position and it's like, ugh, great, okay, But that's part of racing, I guess. It's can't give up on lap one, so it's still an hour race after that, and you just gotta push and see what you can get from it.
Yeah, we did
Right.
catch. Oh, you're up.
Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna see myself out just while you're on the formation lap. But yeah, once again, great season with you lads. I'll see you when finals time comes.
Yes, we'll see you there. Thank you once again.
Enjoy Split Red, gentlemen.
Will do. This is an interesting comment. So Diebols says that Smithy's worried about getting mugged, particularly due to the headwinds up the straight. I think it's actually a crosswind. It is a crosswind. So it's kind of a 45 degrees headwind as they come up Eau Rouge Radion. So that
That could possibly warrant some rain. Unlikely, but 15 km/h winds usually indicates rain's on the way.
Yeah, that rain in quali definitely threw a spanner in the works because I did not do any practice in the wet. And it definitely, this track, for me, I'm not sure if I'm the only one that experiences it, but it feels more slippery than other tracks.
Maybe.
I'm not sure if it's the asphalt or just me personally or the Bentley that just doesn't want to grip, but it feels so slippery even when it's dry. And in the wet, it was just bloody ACC on ice.
Yeah, it might be one of those tracks that just doesn't have the same grip, because I know Suzuka's really quite abrasive in reality. So whether or not that's the kind of thing that they've modelled, but I'm just wondering about the wind in particular. So going into Eau Rouge, having across your front left kind of 45 degrees, 15 km/h wind, is that good or bad for you? Is that going to kind of kick the car in a way that's kind of uncomfortable? I would have thought that it might actually help you with a bit of extra downforce into that headwind, and it's kind of not shoving you offline too badly. It's kind of shoving you in the direction that you want to be shoved early, because it's harder to get the car further over to the right.
I think,
you know what I mean?
I don't think I've driven in too many headwinds like this or tailwinds. Sometimes it can benefit you in terms of straight line speed, maybe like 2Ks at most, but it can have, I think it's usually when it's about 20Ks now, it has a big impact on the turn-in and just the whole way the car drives coming into corners when you're in that headwind. When you're in the tailwind's probably not so much an issue, but definitely on that headwind when you're getting into the high teens, 20s, stuff like that, which you don't see too often in the 20s. When you do, it really has an effect.
Yeah, I would have thought a little bit of logic applied. It feels like a headwind up Radion He's not bad. He's more stabilizing. A tailwind would be
Oh,
horrible.
it probably would be, yeah.
A tailwind would be very, very difficult.
Would a headwind not maybe destabilize it ever so slightly on the crest? As you come over, as the nose lifts a little bit, you'll have a bit of wind coming. I don't know. I'm not a physicist or anything, but
The
just
loss of
wondering.
downforce might be really significant when the car starts to lift. You lose the underbody as well. Be interesting to see. But JP, are you going to take the start for us?
I can do that if you want.
That sounds hesitant. You don't have to.
No worries. I can. Yeah, so with the new start procedure, everybody's now limited to 80 and as close to each other as possible, coming around the hairpin onto the start straight. Your top 10 is Smith, Floyd, Baldwin, Sherwich, however you say that, McIntosh, Gibbons, Misson, Ricciuti, Johnson, and Holmes. So let's see if all this talk about wind play off. As they go, Smith gets a good start, nobody looking too aggressive on the start, safely through so far for the top 10, top 15 probably. Side by side, Smith won't worry about that. Gets ahead of him there. Tree in the way. Smith should be safe here, but it could get quite spicy coming into the chicane here. What's going to happen? Baldwin is looking aggressive on Sherwich. Sherwich is compromised out there. Baldwin gets the move done, I would say. And there's an Aston.
No.
And a McLaren just parking it off on the side. Hopefully that is not Gibbons, because Janice would be most upset.
No, that is
But it doesn't.
before.
It appears that Gibbons has made up a spot, so pretty clean start overall. Just 2 people mildly affected. I don't think they'll complain too much about that.
Yeah, look, I'm sure any position lost always sucks a bit, but they've kept the car intact. No serious damage. If you can drive away from it, then it's not too bad. And as you say, Smith has gotten away a bit. Really interesting. I noticed how early Floyd braked into Lacombe, as is good and safe, but really kind of set the pace for everyone else behind him as well, which gave, I think, Smith a fair bit of extra room to play with. He really kind of stepped out away from all of them, and Floyd's caught right back up onto the back of him, and now Baldwin is already 1.4 seconds behind, and we'll see that updated as we cross the next split. So, a pretty significant step for Floyd and Smith so far, but we are but half a lap through this race, and there's a long way left to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think, Baldwin, to be honest, will be happy sitting in third at the moment. Oh, Floyd has missed his braking there. Luckily, that chicane is fairly forgiving if you're just miss your braking there.
So it looks like he tried to make a move on the outside around Smithy. Didn't quite work, took to the exit. Can continue on, nothing too bad there. Massive, just about a massive crash from P1 and P2. So, fortunately, no crash, and I haven't gone back quite in time, quite enough to see the almost incident, but we race on.
Sherwich there with a warning, I would say. He cut Radion quite badly there. Baldwin will be happy with that little incident from Floyd, because that gives him a shot to maybe get back into the slipstream.
Yeah, that's it. The toe is pretty material here. It makes a big difference. I know that was one of the things keeping me in a battle for a long time in my split. Corey suggesting that wind normally brings rain. I think there's half a chance. It's still mostly sunny with a little bit of clouds. So if it fully clouds over, you might see something, but 30-minute forecast is still for the same kind of weather, so might be easing off.
I'll bet a pint of VB that there won't be any rain.
I don't know that anyone wants that winning prize, do they?
Exactly, so I hope it wouldn't rain.
Here you go. McIntosh here on Johnson, who's currently leading in the M class as well. Oh, McIntosh getting a good bit of a run there through turn 13. Has to ease off a little bit.
Yeah, Ryan Green in chat saying Hurt starting on wets is a pretty good strat. It wasn't, I don't think.
Or it was about
Um,
8 drivers who tried it.
Yeah, me and Ryan had a very close call going through Blanchemont on, I think it was on the second lap or so, because the wets didn't allow you to take it on full speed where the dries could. So we had a bit of an almost oopsie.
Did you? And you started on wets?
No, I started on dries.
Oh, good.
Ryan started on wets, so he couldn't quite carry the speed through Blanchemont on that early laps.
Yeah, we went through and checked the entire grid, and I think I want to say 7 or 8 drivers all had wets, and it didn't go that well for any of them. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
there was a couple of guys over race control who said, "Yeah, everybody should be on dries," and you just heard a couple of guys go, "Ah, shit." So
Yeah.
you could see the strat wasn't quite planned out there.
Yeah, and then try to push that a little bit too long as well. But it is what it is. Here, let's have a look in from here, try and get an idea how much this tow means to the Bentley. Indeed,
Not
we can
much,
see.
not on a GTR.
That's true. They caught up quite a lot of ground right at the end there. Maybe that's more just missing, settling in and not wanting to risk anything under brakes.
The Bentley is mighty through the second sector. Oh, well saved, well kept by Miss in there. Bentley is mighty through the second sector, but it is not particularly good through the final sector. Well, or I'm not very good through the final sector. Let's say that.
You've done it much better than I have, that is for sure. It's a tricky beast. I'm going to discover this next season, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Are you moving to the Bentley?
I am.
Welcome to the light side then.
Did you sign up, JP, and did you choose something different?
No, I'm sticking with the Bentley for one more season. Yeah, you can sigh. I enjoy driving it, okay? It's fun.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is Braden's going to be there as well. So
Yeah, but the fortunate part is you don't have to talk to people.
It's a
The
point.
fortunate part is the car that I've picked, it will probably contain no more than about 10 people, so I won't have to talk to anyone.
What did you go with?
I chose the Nissan.
Like on purpose, or did you accidentally click on the wrong one?
Well, no, I went for Bentley, and then I talked myself out of it because I'm already using it for endurance. So I was like, oh, screw it, Nissan it is.
Oh,
Oh,
it's...
send by Macintosh. That could work.
Oh, that's...
Very
Well done.
nicely done by everybody there.
I think so, yeah. Just very heads up by all the drivers to make sure that didn't turn into a much bigger issue. Look at Holmes right now. He's keen. I feel like he's just kind of exploring every option, just putting his nose... Oh, no, there's a little bit of a tap there.
Ooh, I don't think he saved that. I think he went... Oh, no, he did.
Oh, no,
well,
he's
very
okay.
well done by Johnson there.
But that is a little bit of an unfortunate moment.
I think he had a bit of a wheel on the Astro there that just sort of tipped him into Macintosh there, maybe.
Yeah. The rise. So see what's going on.
Can we quickly have a look at Bendik just so
We can
chat
actually. They are actually in a
have
bit of a
rip?
battle. So this is not a bad one to watch as well. His fan club are great. As we can see, Girardi is that, and Clayton in the background having a bit of a scrap. I'm going to center it on Powell because then I can maybe get a wider shot that sees this entire cluster. Although Girardi's dropped back a fair bit, and that has actually opened up for Clayton to have a half run. Hasn't quite worked out.
Must have missed something, but Ricciuti has dropped right down the order. He started in 6th, I think. He's down in 20th.
Yeah, that's a huge drop. And it'll be on this lap as well, because his last lap was a 2:19.8. Very respectable.
So it may have been a rally on death, because the Lambo seems to enjoy dying there.
Yes, right. So Ben Wright and the Rise might are responsible for any cursing that occurs at Bendy. He is in the Audi. It is Spa, and I will not be held responsible for anything that happens.
No, we as commentators cannot be held responsible for anything. Unless someone puts it in a wall after we've said something, that's all we can really be held accountable for.
Right, the Audi is not our problem.
Well,
Well,
that's currently my issue.
It's your problem, but
Yeah.
Parkin appears to have had an incident in the back there as well. This one's going on. It does look like Neighbour has skipped away a little bit. Has gotten kind of a second gap. You can see that start to open up. This is where, and maybe we'll use this as an opportunity to try and get a view from this angle at how the Audi handles.
This is where the driver of the Audi is going. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. Didn't die. Well done. Now you relax for 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
I
And
was
then
going
you
to say,
shut
I
yourself
cannot
again.
describe to you the feeling of going up our route and thinking, I'm going to die.
And I feel like you could see the way the suspension handles it. We're just at the crest of Radion. It's really like, it's the front right that's got some reasonable contact with the ground and the rest of the car not so much. Which is why it's so, he runs wide. Coming out of Lecombe. Just why, if you don't have that steering angle straight, it's just going to grab there and then spit you right out. So
Yeah, I had this explained to me from someone who had it explained to them. It's essentially the aero downforce of the car going from a negative value over to the top of Radeon where it becomes a positive value. That's when it goes death, and I experienced that. I died.
yeah, shifting, and that is actually why I wonder whether or not this headwind is actually helping, just to give you more downfills, and you're arguably just coming through a little bit slower because you've had to push through a 15k an hour wind, and slower is usually safer, so there might be something in that.
Can see up the front as well. Smith seems to have skipped away, but Baldwin is very close to Floyd at the moment also.
Yeah, absolutely. Just considering whether or not McIntosh is going to make a move, he does go more towards the outside. He's not in a position to be able to seriously challenge for that move, but was able to compromise Misson's line a touch. In the background, I could see Sassano and Holmes having a scrap here. Holmes trying to hold off the position that he'd taken from Sassano. Does look like he is going to be able to keep that. Oh, it's very, very close. Johnson will be having flashbacks from earlier. I think he was the Nissan earlier who had that side-by-side and got kicked to the back of his pack. As we see them go through. Oh, I don't want to be an Audi with aero wash coming through Radeon. I tell you what, that is uncomfortable. Johnson, car just squirrely, but he's fine. Missing don't care.
McIntosh with a 15-second penalty for that incident with Johnson seems that's a big penalty.
Yeah, I wonder if that's actually for something else, because that 15 seconds is a lot. I mean, there is the
It's
early
a penalty
lap
on lap one.
Okay, so that'll be for something else.
Lap one, okay.
So that makes more sense. And Dieball's asking the question, and it's a very good question. With a 15-second pen, do you pit early? I think you do. Especially if you're losing time, and I feel like right now he will feel like he is losing time. He's stuck right behind another car, and I think he's got some pace. Although he'll be getting the advantage of the toe up Camel Straight, which is always helpful. It is something. To touch on what you said earlier, though, JP, Baldwin on the back of Floyd. Let's take a look in the driver's seat of that one. Car looking pretty nice and stable. Nothing too dramatic. Stavlo 2 obviously very, very important for your overall lap pace. Arguably one of the most important single corners. Given the execution that's so important. Lesour's... Oh, it's a pseudo hairpin. But Stavlo 2 just getting the power on early, holding that corner just right. Maybe just kissing the curb, but not too much because it will slow you down a bit. And then it's absolutely flat all the way to the bus stop, so... It's more if you get it wrong, you lose a whole whack.
just to make sure that Janice is still here, Gibbons is running in 5th and doing bloody well at the moment. So she'll be enjoying a cup of tea watching that.
Oh, absolutely. Cup of tea. Got it on her TV or her phone, just supporting her grandson.
He's on a very good run. He's a couple of seconds shy of Chewits at the moment, but I think he can make that up. Baldwin, you can see the Bentley does the toe is material. Oh, is he almost carries a bit too much speed?
Actually, that was close. I thought there was going to be a bit of a kiss there. Ah, I'm
Things.
smelling Audi tings here. Let's have a look.
Tinged. Finally, there's
Or
some
did
things.
they decide to go? Oh, kept. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
golly.
Not. Yeah.
Wow, he didn't even make
Slap.
a rouge.
I was trying to slot back in. The aero wash on the Audi, I remember, is actually, it really is there, and that is not a place to do it. Like, he's tried to tuck back in, he's realised he can't hold the corner, but he's just very out of position now. And it was he's tapped on one of those front wheels, I can't remember if it was right or left, into the wall, so I would not be surprised if he's having to steer at an unusual angle, which I can't tell from there, but I could from here.
The impact didn't look too severe there, I don't think.
Wouldn't be surprised if that steering's a bit damaged, but it seems to be straight. And that's front right, Diabols points that out. Very tight. In the meanwhile, Baldwin has dropped a little bit back on this lap. And that's a lapped Aston, who I think is pitted early. I think that's Zenchin just behind between Baldwin and Chewits.
Yeah, I tried the early stop due to damage as well, and my tires were cooked by the end of it, so that should be fun by the end of the race.
Yeah, a few drivers had to do that, especially the ones who started on wets. Made it about 3 laps before they had to pull it in. It was some weary rubber. Raschuti on a little bit of a recovery, so you see he's gotten himself back up into 16. That's a provisional 15 at the moment, at least, with the penalty to Gafford. And as you pointed out earlier, Smithy really skipping away 4.5 seconds, and I think that will cement his split red win, if I understand this correctly.
Yeah, I think Baldwin needs to win, and Smithy needs to finish a couple of spots behind him, doesn't he? For Baldwin to stand a chance.
That sounds right, but I was relying on Braden to do the maths, which is, you know, a questionable prospect at the best of times, but we love him. Powell here following neighbour.
I think I'll become the new Braden. Let me go and do some maths.
The new Braden.
I don't. Well, yeah, you can't really top Braden, can you?
No, absolutely not.
Baldwin is, well, 90, basically 90 points behind. So yeah, he needs Smith to finish poorly, very poorly, and he needs to win. But Sean Jacobs in second, who isn't racing today, is in between the two of them. So that's unfortunate. That'll drop him out of the top 2. But Floyd isn't close enough to overtake him for second, or for third at least.
Yeah, so it might be a bit academic, but we'll see when the race in comes. I'm just looking at this battle here, and it looks like Neighbour's car is just, I mean, it's the Honda. It's just a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, being in a team with all of them for the endurance, I can confidently say that they are all fucking excited to get out of the Honda.
Yeah, it's I did it the previous season, and it wasn't my favourite. It kind of was, and then it wasn't. But
I used it during the classification. I tried to help them with a setup just by, ooh, that's missed the brakes by quite a bit there. I did a couple of laps with it, and after about 2 laps, I just wanted to give all of them a hug to tell them it's going to be okay, because it was just no fun, right?
it feels very difficult to place as Powell loses a position to Bendy. As a result of that outbreak, and good work as well by Powell. He did outbreak himself took to the escape space, and then made sure the road was clear before he joined back in. That did cost him another position. He could have just yeeted out there. That is unsafe and unwise. I think it's best that he did exactly as he did.
I'm quite sure that Benjamin Wright and the Rise had a celebratory drink just there because Bendick obviously benefited from that.
That's it. Right? He's every victory, and he's on the podium for the Pro-Am class, so it's all there.
I still maintain, I said it yesterday as well, Puhon for me is one of the crappiest corners. I just freaking hate this corner in a GT3 car. I can't get it right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there is a right way, there's just degrees of wrong. Just nothing seems to feel better, and it's that uncomfortable. I feel like it's that uncomfortable. It's like, which gear do I take this in? Because there's a couple of options. Which braking point? Which line? I just
Yeah, like I joined the I watched the rookie walkthrough of it, and I saw Cam doing it on his replay, and I thought, well, that makes perfect sense. I'll try it like that. And I'm still trying to try it like that. I still haven't managed to do it the same way. I don't know. It's so tricky to get the timing right. It's so difficult to know when to get on the throttle. It's just overall a shit corner.
yeah, it's uncomfortable. And it's always that question as well. Like, can I keep this flat? Is the car going to keep turning enough, or is it going to run wide? I just can't know that. Tell you what, Chariot's is on a good run. So his last lap 2:18.2. So he's caught up 3/10 to Baldwin, who did a 2:18.7 or 2:18.5 himself, which is nothing to be ashamed of. And he's got a great run compared to Floyd here. Floyd knows it. Already having to try and break the toe a little bit. So I'm not sure that any move will come this lap. But he's closed it up.
Yeah. I think Baldwin shouldn't be so much concerned about passing Floyd. He needs to actually be concerned about Chariot's, because Chariot's is on a very good run. He's got a good gap behind him to Gibbo, and then to Missen's another 7.5 seconds. So I think Baldwin's just going to have to maybe actually start thinking about going for a bit of an early undercut, maybe in about 2 laps or so if he can't quite find that pace on Floyd. Chariot's can keep going because he's not quite in the danger zone yet with Baldwin in a battle. Looks like Floyd's pulling away and Chariot's is catching Baldwin, so I think Baldwin might need to start thinking about that pit stop strategy.
I think you're right.
Keith Briscoe asking about the race start time. I think our race was 3 p.m. as well. 5 p.m. I mean, if I'm not mistaken. I think the first practice was at 3 p.m. and then somehow the qualifying was at 1 p.m. on the same day.
Yeah.
And then the race was at 5.
Ooh, a little bit of a touch there. I saw Clayton getting a small tap on the back of Gafford. Nothing too dramatic, but they're okay. Yeah, I think the server config for this one has been a little bit unusual. I think this is the same time as most of the races have been. Interesting to note, Girardi, Rashidi, Zanchin, Mason, Parkin all having completed their pit stops already. So we're shooting on that recovery drive. Might be some damage that he's trying to wash off there. So now, ever since Neighbour and Johnson got away, they've gotten away by a fair gap. Although Neighbours fall back in. There we go. And Powell wants in. Wants a fresh set of tyres and to try and get a bit more of a gap that way. I think that's probably a smart play.
I would have to say if I was in Baldwin's shoes at the moment, I'd probably go for the undercut, as Mitch was saying as well.
Ooh. I did just notice the gap was 1/10 at the last split, so
I think he's definitely has the pace on Floyd. maybe a 10 for 2 a lap, but just not enough for the actual overtake. So get the early stop in, come out in some clear air, and maybe put some quick laps in. Hopefully come out ahead of him.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's always that question of whether or not the couple of toes that he'll be getting. There's kind of there's that too, right? There's the Camel Straight and there's everything from Stavlo 2 through to the bus stop. There can be material, but...
But he's also, I think he's losing time through Sector 1, he's losing time in Lacombe. Yeah, I'm not sure. But personally, I think he's better off getting away from this little battle and trying to win it in the pits.
Yeah, you might be right. We'll see.
Good run again, but Baldwin's going to have to back out. He doesn't want to. This is going to give Floyd a very good opportunity. If Baldwin can get past here, he might not need to go for that undercut. He's going to look to the outside. Cheriets goes deep. Nearly takes Baldwin out. Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, nervous moment. So, we've all done it. Just brake just a bit too late. The bus stop. I mean, relatively infamous. I don't think you can watch a single professional race and not see that happen multiple times.
Just take a look at the recent 24 hours of Spa when the rain started there. It was hilarious.
Oh, it's just... That was a little bit embarrassing, actually, for some of them, I think.
It was, the top 3 is like, loop, no, he's off. Yeah, him too. Yep. Okay, now they're all off. Okay, so nobody knows how to take the turn in the wet, apparently.
But then, like, 15 more drivers all did the same thing. Like, their teams will be like, look, take it easy into the bus stop. They can see cars are parallel to the road, and they still did. They still did break. And they broke early. That rain was intense, though. Again, anyone who hasn't watched that, the last hour, definitely worth a watch as you build into Le Mans. What kind of lap times are they doing? Asked Mr. Zombie Frank. So the cars that we are watching at the moment were 2:19 flats or thereabout in the last lap, with bests all in the low 2:18s. The leader at the moment, 2:18.2, was his last with his best race lap, a lazy 2:17.5. Further down the order, it varies. 2:20s around the P8, P9 kind of window. And then there's a whole bunch of pit stops. It's a bit mixed up. You can always check out pitwall.live, look for the Octane Online Racing OOR server there, and you can find any lap times that you want to spot. Those are all up to date there. Macintosh in as well. Wonder where he'll come out after the pin. That's a very good question. Neighbour Bendick, Sassano, and Leonard Scott all in the pits as well. So there's a few out of that scrap as well. So Neighbour and Bendick, I think we're within fighting distance of each other. So we'll see how that slots in. The Hamster with a $20 donation. Legend, fantastic. What is this hippopotamus doing? A victory dance?
Victory, apparently.
Floyd into the pits following Smith. He's already in.
A Cheriet's in the pits.
Chariot's in the pits. So Baldwin now probably wants to run it longer and not just drive straight back into that. Or he's got to come in and immediately respond. So we'll see shortly which way he will go.
Surely he's going to have to just
Or
try and come straight in. He might not have the pace to keep going on those tyres. 32-minute mark. This is around where most people will start to pit, as we see, you know, Floyd, Cheriets, Smith's in the pits, Leonard Scott's in the pits. A lot of other people have already pitted. Probably see a couple more people pit this lap, and then probably the lap after. So I think it's just a case of, is Baldwin going to go another lap or so longer?
yeah, overcuts the go, and I think we've seen Bendick beat Neighbour in the pits. He's come out just behind Raschuti, which is going to be a tough ask. Raschuti pitted a few laps ago, so his tyres well up to pressure. Girardi just ahead as well. So that's starting to give us some answers from that scrap. But yeah, I thought Neighbour was ahead of Bendick.
He was before they pitted, yeah. But not far. They were within half a second of each other.
Oh, so good pit stop. He's gotten that done. Can he hold it though? Because he's defending against a few drivers. And as with all Audi drivers, you're defending against yourself, getting sent into oblivion. Already, they were pushing pretty hard.
He's really going for it. See, best lap 220.1, 228.1 may have been.
That's the
Not sure what
outlap,
that
most
was.
likely.
It must have been an outlap or something. Yeah, I would say from the pit. So got a bit of time. Ooh, touches the grass there. That's a interesting line through Blanchemont's really tight. Loses a fair bit of speed. That rear's not looking too stable around there, which is a bit unusual for the Honda. Well, I said that the Honda's usually pretty unstable in the rear, but not around corners like that. So might be running a fairly low rear wing setup, which would be
That was a very narrow
interesting
entry into
strategy.
Blanchemont.
It was. Maybe just tried to overturn it coming around. Oh, Bendick goes deep. Neighbour saw it coming, doesn't get the exit. He needs to try and take him up Eau Rouge, so might get it on straight. The Honda, very good for top end speed. Fruit stuck in the pits now as well. Audi, it's a warning there for Bendick. Neighbour now's got the run. Just going to move to the inside. Bendick should have probably defended the outside there. I think he could have probably still kept that position, but I think Neighbour's going to get this one done. Bendick's going to go deep as he does. Tries to keep the inside, but Neighbour gets that one done.
Yeah,
was
warmer
fairly
tyres.
Compliant by... No, sorry, it was fairly compliant by Bendick there. I think he's playing the long game, just trying to stick with Neighbour, knowing he's a bit fast at the moment, most likely.
Correct.
You might be right. So we're watching Raschuti get a run on Girardi down into Pouhon. Oh, that was very close to a tap, I think, as Dre started to take the turn. He's trying to leave some room on the inside. It was very close to not enough. That's almost an overlap. It could have gone very sideways, but it didn't. Still, Raschuti on a big recovery as he runs very wide. What's that, Campos? To resettle himself. Get a good Stavlo, see if he can get a toe. Let's have a look. Prong the cockpit. So this is where there's some opportunities to gain a fair bit, although it's always frustrating if you catch someone a little bit too early into Blanchemont. After Blanchemont, catch them as much as you want. Beforehand, you don't want to have to lift. Gets himself a much wider entry. I think his car may be a little bit more agile in general. And again, he likes to turn sometimes when you don't want it to. Looks like Girardi's holding him off and holding him off well. Though he does go a bit
They
deep.
both go deep. Oh, Raschuti got the better exit. May have to hold back though coming up Eau Rouge. He does have the better run. Hopefully Girardi keeps it flat. Raschuti looks there. Might have to lift to not take him out. He does a little bit there. Ooh, I think Girardi just kept it within track limits there. Might have gone a little bit wide. Might be a warning.
I think that was a very sensible move by Raschuti. Just for a moment there, coming into Eau Rouge, put his nose out. It's not the optimal line, but then he can see where he needs to get the car pointed to. I've seen a couple of drivers try and follow through there, lose track of where they are, and loop the car. So
Much better run for Raschuti. Ooh, goes a little bit wide there. Might get him under brakes, forces the inside line there. And Girardi lets him have that one, so Raschuti back up into the top 10 now. 10th he is, missing Johnson, the 5th Baldwin, still not pitting at the moment. Maybe he is looking for that overcut, knowing that that may be the better strategy.
does look like while we've watched this that Clayton has gotten himself past Bendick. Powell is closing in as well. So you can see Bendick not done with that position though. He might try and nab that back off Clayton in the Jag. looking very civilized. Aston's super stable here.
Aston's super stable anyway, Jamie.
That's true, but not always fast.
That's correct.
So, this time, however, he's getting himself a great run. Actually runs it a bit wide on the entry to Blanchimont.
We're just trying to find a way to get past Bendig, but in the most civil way possible.
Arguably the easiest place to
inside.
get a track limits, I think, is that Blanchimont entry.
Yeah, Blanchimont entry. Oh, that's Clayton just making a bit of a mess of the bus stop there. Bendig taking full
Baldwin into the
advantage.
pit.
Pow. Yeah,
Baldwin
Baldwin's in the
go.
pits now.
Indeed, hasn't been able to seal that and get the inside, so does have to slot back in behind, but maybe slightly better exit. Diabol's willing Clayton to get that jag home. We will see. Oh, as you can see, Bendig really wasn't comfortable on that run. Was following in very close behind it all. Really upset the front end of the car in the Audi, and indeed has to yield lift. Loses a position. Not much he could do about it. Once the car starts to go, best thing to do is to make sure that it does not die. Might get one back here though. As he does, as Powell runs deep under brakes. Rejoins Bendig, swoops back in. So good little back and forward. Let's see as well, Girardi is staying on the back of Prosciutti, so he's not done. Bruce Tucker, I can see in P20 leading the AM class, doing a great job there. And the question for some is, where will Baldwin come out of the pits in? Still in there.
Floyd on the start-finish straight now. Just crossing the line. Or, yeah.
Baldwin still hasn't been dropped off his jacks.
I don't
He's
think he's
right
gonna...
at the exit. Oh, there he goes. No, it's
No, I don't
too
think
long.
that's good enough. Be close.
Or maybe.
Be very close.
He'll be absolutely burning out of there. There it is.
No.
Ooh,
There it
Sewage. He
is.
might have lost it to Sewage. Sewage will have
Yeah,
the
I
run.
think he's going to lose it on Churietz. He's going to go to the inside, but Churietz is going to eat him up for breakfast.
Corey, today it's bold lose, unfortunately.
Oh, dear. There we go. You are indeed a father. We know this. Proving it with some fantastic dad jokes. Yes, so slot tacking in fourth. He's got some work to do. We'll have pressure tyres. Cars ahead pitted, well, 5-6 laps prior. So maybe that will pay dividends, but I'd still much rather be the car ahead with older tyres in most of these situations than the car behind with newer. Oh, who is this car that he's rapidly overtaking? It is a blue flagged Bentley. Just keeping a half eye on how some of these scraps are going. So let's have a quick flick through. Girardi is staying still with Prosciutti. So both showing really good time. Their last lap time was almost identical. Their best lap time only a couple of tenths between it. So good signs for him. Clayton has started to duck away from this scrap, so he's now 1.7 seconds clear of Bendig, but Powell's still going to hold with him. Does feel like Bendig's really, it's really for him coming down to how well can he hold Eau Rouge ready on, and how many laps can he do it for. That is the Audi challenge. Back here as well, Viney, Zenchin, Gafor. Where is Viney? He's managed to get ahead a little bit, so I think in the last sector, Zenchin might have just dropped back a bit. Indeed, that's why he's a little bit closer to Gafor potentially. Gafor is a bit further behind than what he'd like to be. Did have a bit of a penalty to work off. And just for Janice, Gibbo in fifth, doing great. Lap times just did his best lap time of the whole race, 2:18.2. Very, very respectable. So maybe,
Very nice lap.
yeah, maybe he can catch back in. Although unfortunately, Baldwin ahead did a 2:18 flat as his best lap, but Baldwin, as we know, has just come out of the pits. So we'll see. But Gibbo very clear from behind, so all eyes ahead, and we'll see what happens with that one. Let's have a look at Clayton now. He's on neighbour. Let's see how the Jag handles the Bay Rouge action.
It doesn't.
But it doesn't. On a scale of 1 to Audi.
Oh, you got to use so much. So much of that inside curb. It's actually disgusting.
It's alright. And the top speed of the Jag is okay.
Yeah,
With a toe?
263, 4, 5,
saw it.
6.
Yeah, I saw
Maybe
266.
266, yeah.
Oh boy. It feels like a BMW there. Which I can tell you that BMW did not appreciate Lecombe one little bit.
Yeah, my
Jazz-
brother
Oh.
tried it out and just said, nope, he's not going to do the race. The BMW is awful here.
I actually thought it was okay, except for Lecombe. And it didn't really like the bus stop either.
Yeah,
The rest of it was actually pretty
Lecombe's
fine.
the only real downside of the BMW. BMW is one of the stronger cars here, other than McLaren and Merc, I think. Oh no, Fez as well. So it's still probably top 5 cars, which is good.
It was very uncomfortable there at Lecombe though. Janice, Gibbo, very consistent. He is very consistent. Consistency is king. And that is why Gibbons is king, I guess. Like by that transitive logic. That's just maths. Yeah, the Jag to me just it looks like a slightly less comfortable version of the BMW that I was driving. But to be fair, Clayton's quicker than I am, so is he? He's about the same
Kyrie-
pace as what I was doing actually.
Kai Ruden saying that Ross did a purple sector in the BMW in sector 1. It is an absolute rocket in the straight line, so that helps.
He did. He was running the setup that was just one wing, go, and he did it well. I see the Rise has rejoined the chat to cheer on Venting. He's actually closing back up on Powell. That's it. No, he lost the position to Powell. So he's doing very well to keep that car in contention. That is for sure.
Just a quick question for chat and for you guys as well. Favorite race of the year across all splits, basically, but which track generated
Are you
your favorite
talking
race?
this season or
This season, yeah. It's
this
this season.
season? Okay. Ooh. To drive or to watch?
To watch.
To watch. Wow.
Did we see a wet race at Kailami this season? Because that's always good.
Well, yeah, that was our split.
Oh, that's right. We had to race it. Suzuka, was Suzuka in this series?
No,
No.
that was last season.
I'm just flipping back through the races that we have, or the tracks.
Yeah, I
that we
know.
raced.
I'm trying to think. I was going to say Paul Ricard was pretty
Silverstone.
good from memory.
Silverstone
Silverstone
was
was
fun.
good.
Wasn't Paul Ricard, Solder, Imola, Kailami, Hungaroring.
I do like a Hungaroring. Donington was fun.
Hungaroring was good. Yeah, Donington was good. I think that spaced out pretty quickly though from memory. I think one. I reckon it'd probably be. Masada was quite good from memory as well.
Honestly, start to lose track between
Bathurst?
doing a race. Oh, I don't like Bathurst.
No, Bathurst.
I think the racing was actually really quite good, and even
yeah.
even of all places. Oh no, we didn't do Barcelona. That's in the finals.
No, we didn't. That'll be finals.
Zolder was actually
it's the
pretty
last
good.
final.
I think Zolder had some pretty good
Yeah,
tight
Zolder
racing.
was good. It had a lot of penalties though.
Yeah, but I mean that generally signifies some close racing, not necessarily clean racing, but at least close.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was also pretty mixed conditions in terms of the rain and stuff like that, so it made for some fun watching.
I feel like I just gravitate to the tracks that I like the most, which is Kyalami.
Yeah.
Donington, I really thought was a lot of fun. Hungaroring, I really like. Those are some of my favourites. What was yours, JP? Though you asked us.
Just in terms of watching the race back, I'd say Zolder.
Yep.
Like I said, for me, it was fun watching it at night. It was good to watch, and it was good close racing. And I had a brilliant battle with Scout, which I think would have been fun to watch, and rewatching it back on the stream was good fun. But a personal race favorite in terms of racing was Hungaroring for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a great track. My best race, I think, is actually at Spa. I didn't actually get that much battling in, but I kept it out of the walls and actually had a halfway reasonable result for once, so I was feeling a bit better about that. But yeah, there's been some good ones. And we've got Nürburgring's the first week of the finals, I think.
Correct. Yeah.
Indeed, it is.
That'll be cracking. I think that is a fantastic track. And we've also got the Midnight at Misano next weekend.
Correct again.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a good bit of fun. Dieballs doesn't like Hungary in F1 cars. I think it's a much better GT3 track than it is an F1 track.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, I have to remember that Baldwin's in a Bentley, and I thought he was absolutely going to plough into that wall there at Les Sources, but did not. Sitting on the right-hand side, he's all good. But he is on a charge. He was a couple of seconds behind Chewietz after that kind of pit change. And it is worth mentioning as well, Smith, absolutely in charge of this race. 12 seconds or thereabouts ahead, doing an absolutely outstanding job. Floyd's 14 minutes left. I think he's really going to have to think about defending to the end at this pace, because Chewietz is on a charge, and Chewietz will make a big move. So you do have to keep an eye and a half behind you. I wonder, is there enough time for Gibbons to get caught back into this if these guys really start to scrap hard and slow each other out? Just a juicy little proposition there.
I'd say it's likely, but it just depends on if Gibbo can consistently be fast, because it will be all dependent on how much these three hold each other up.
Yeah,
To be fair, they've been fairly close and still lapping fairly quick as well. So Gibbons hasn't caught up much yet.
But is the best way to keep someone behind you is to be faster than them. So just follow me for more wisdom. But I think Floyd is doing that. I mean, he's not in P2 for no reason. What was his last lap? 2:18.3. I bet Chewietz was a 2:18 flat, so that is something. Yeah, as Dieballs points out, this battle has been all race long, and I think it will be for the next 12 minutes plus a lap.
That was quite a good Murray Walker line, pretty much. As long as you drive faster than the guy behind you, you'll definitely beat him.
I did. It does remind me of a really good tip I saw when I started to get into racing. Is that it is not your fault that someone is behind you, and that actually really helped me to race. Actually, was reminding myself I might be slower and I'm ahead of them. It is not my fault that I am ahead of them. It's not my thing to rectify.
Well, it is if you take them out.
Okay, most of the time, it is not my fault that I'm ahead of them. But they could have qualified better, they could have raced better, they could have executed cleaner, they could have avoided collisions, all of these things, right?
It's not your fault if you're not a dickhead and he's behind you. It's basically...
Right. Yeah. If you haven't directly actually done something to put them behind you, right? If you qualified ahead of them, but they're faster than you and you're holding them up, that's not your fault. You can drive your race. You don't owe them anything. That's okay. there's something that they
Corey
can do.
Sweet saying Kailami Split Red was a great race. I mean, that was when Sam Wise became Sam Wide.
That's true.
So, and Baldwin with the sprint at the end to get out of the 5-second gap. So that was a brilliant race as well. That's a good shout.
That was a very good one. And Dieball's pointing out, yeah, the amount of crashes from drivers thinking that they deserve the spot because they're faster. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you don't learn as well. It's not their fault that they're ahead. It's up to you to get that position clean. And if it doesn't work, then you're the attacking car. Yeah. Again, more wisdom. Look, just
oozing out of you,
just from every... I'm not sure where to go with that. Either way,
mate. Yeah, don't.
Chewits might be under attack here from Baldwin. He kind of is. He kind of left a bit of an attacking line for him, so Baldwin has had a go at it. Hasn't quite worked out, but he's got to be aware. And what? Because it kind of was enough of an invitation there as well. There was kind of a full car's width on the left-hand side as he went into the braking zone for the bus stop. Some drivers like to narrow that a little bit more, though. Others like to go wider. Neighbour with a big bin at Eau Rouge, says Kovacs Racing.
Yeah, he's in the pits, so that's true.
Yeah, the Honda will do that to you.
Wonder if Baldwin might get the run here on Chariot. He had a good run on up Eau Rouge through Radion. He's going to go around the outside.
Oh, very late on the
it's a
brakes.
huge send. No, he has to give that one back. Yeah.
Yep, and he knows, and he does. We race on, and he's kind of bailed out of it early enough, so he's probably not beat up his tyres a bit too much, because that is the big advantage that he has over these two guys. Much fresher tyres. It's getting very, very tight. Keeping a half eye as well. I think Bendick's about to come under pressure from Gafor. Or on
Also the AM class leaders, first and second, are within half a second of each other. Trustuk and Matthews in 19th.
Absolutely. Let's have a bit of a look here. This is Matthews in the Ferrari. Trustuk in the Audi.
Oh, good run for Matthews. But Trustuk's got the better brakes, whether he uses them. Oh, Matthews looks around the outside. Might go for a switchback here. Around the outside again. Better run onto the straight possible. They've got Lawson behind as well. He's Pro-Am though. So, looking like this is going to be Matthews' one to win here. Just try and get past Trustuk as quickly as he can.
Yeah, they're both of them having a slightly slower previous lap than what they might like.
Oh, it's going to be... Oh, that's a warning, but that was very close.
Matthews will know the stewards are watching out for that one if he had have managed to gain some significant advantage from that run wide, then he would get an additional penalty, so he doesn't do that.
Ooh, deep on the brake tube. Lawson followed him, really oversped coming into Lecombe, so Trustuk needs to take full advantage of that and get away as quick as he can. Matthews good through Lecombe though. Coming down now to the sweeping right-hander before No Name.
Just trying to find the right place to apply power. To find No Name very tricky as well. When to turn in, how to grab that apex.
Yeah, it's probably one of the toughest corners on the track. Puon's another tough one. The rest are fairly simple in most cars, except for, of course, Eau Rouge and the Audi. But other than that, it's just keep it calm, track limits none. Well, none if possible. And just keep going there. Getting blue flag though. This is Smith behind them, so they're going to have to get out of the way. And Matthews does kindly.
Cost him a fair bit of time though, didn't it?
It did, but I think in the long run of things, Frühstück's gonna have to do the same. So maybe Matthews can find that time there. If he can't, he was looking pretty quick in the last couple of laps fighting him, so I'm sure he might be able to find his way back. So we've got just about 6 minutes left to go, so it's about 3 or 4 laps, depending on where Smithy is by the time he comes to the line. So here we go, Frühstück lets him through. This is where Matthews can really regain that time back, and here he is. Oh, bad eggs at the bus stop, though. He did find that time back, though, so he's back to square one, which is good.
Yeah, Diabol is pointing out it's a thing to learn when you do some sim racing is when to let clapping cars through, and it's quite a tricky thing to get 100% right actually, without costing yourself and them any time.
Yeah, that's it. As well as sometimes when it's just better to let someone through than to fight with them. It's a time to
Right
think.
again.
Yeah, Matthews needs to just get this a little bit under control. I can see that Gafford has indeed gotten past Mendig as we expected that he would. Gafford is doing kind of 218s. Mendig in the 221s. Gafford on a big recovery drive. And up the front as well, we do still hold stations while we look at this. Floyd, Chewits, Baldwin in at P2, 3 and 4. Respectful. That's not the word I want.
Just, you find it.
I can't think of it. Mine's gone completely blank. Not that there was much there to begin with.
Respectably? Looking for respectably?
No.
Respectively?
Respectively. That is the word that I want. There we go. We got there.
Yeah.
Or at least I did. With help.
Eventually.
Yeah. I might actually...
I mean, we all aged significantly, but we got there.
We did. I'm now an adult. I'm no longer a teenager. It's just that's how things work.
Mitch is now married with kids already. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the support that brings me back week after week, as we see Gafford go very wide. Now,
probably need to lift there.
we will.
Oh, Chewits has got a drive through. Speaking of, no, never mind. That will be converted into 37 pen. Ignore
But
me.
that'll still be a pain.
But yeah, it's a
huge.
big hit. That'll bring him down. Quick maths time. What's that? 4, 5, 7, 8, 20, 23. About P10. Maybe a little bit further.
I think your maths
Maybe
were quicker
P11.
when you were still a teenager, Mitch.
Yeah, something like that.
There you go. Yeah, Gafford still having a half go into the Coombe. Oh, as we see, who's that? 463 has had an off. That's Frühstück. Oh, no.
Bit of a... Let's have a quick look. Maybe a bit of a tap with Matthews, possibly. Yeah, tap from Matthews.
Oh, that's bad luck.
Matthews just got to keep going. No point retracing. He's still going to get the pen anyway. So it's not what. Yeah, here's Matthews bringing back the position. That's very, very kind of him. He knows that he didn't deserve to have that position, so he's let it back, even with the penalty that I'm sure he probably caught.
Yeah, and there's quite a gap to Leonard Scott. So even with a kind of 10-second penalty, which is maybe what you... Because it's not a massive hit. Even a 5-second wouldn't be shocking, because it's the incident, not the outcome that matters. He's not... He has made the mistake. He's the following car. He has tapped behind. But it's not an incredibly heavy hit.
Just see what the stewards say.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, and with a 17-second gap to Leonard Scott.
Pulled him around more than he pushed him around almost. He just sort of got caught up on him and carried that speed, and the Audi just said things, and things happened. So
that's it. And as you say, up the front, Chewits does now have a 30-second penalty for track limits.
Also worth pointing out, Gratuity has made his way back up to 10th, which is a phenomenal recovery from him. So good respect there to him.
Yeah, huge drive. 2:19 flat was his last lap time. So he has pace. That is what the drivers up much pointier are doing. And I think McIntosh with another 5.5 seconds with this lap and another left to go. 2-3-1. I saw car is off. Who is that? That's Sassano. That is.
Oh, is it over? Oh, this is going to be depressing to watch.
Ding.
Too much curb.
Yep, yeah. And
Goodness.
Bang.
Okay, well, there's a Bushman painting of an Audi R8 in that wall there now.
There is. And that's game over.
Okay, the leader is on the final
So,
lap.
final lap now. Smithy, 15-second gap to Floyd Chewitt's third, but 30-second penalty. That's going to bring him down a long way. Just possibly out of the top 10.
You might be right. This is one of the tightest scraps left for position. Given that Baldwin, even if he can't get past Chewits, that won't matter, and it won't let him get past Floyd. So this one here is for the final step of the Pro-Am podium. It is very close. Kafour has had some fantastic pace. But will he deny a Jag a podium position? Oh, Gibbo will pop up into P4 now as well, Janice. So some nice news for him. Kafour looking to go around the outside of Clayton. Clayton takes his apex quite comfortably. He's not going to really push him.
Ooh. That's a bit of a rude move, really, because he wasn't really next to him. But well done by both drivers there.
Clayton's still getting a slightly better drive out of the bus stop. Kafour's going to look for a much wider line to do a bit of speed carry. He knows full well Clayton will just hog that apex, not let him in. Challenge always is, you're going to come out with a bit more speed, but can you use it before a Rouge? In this case, kind of can't, and he's going to get kicked well wide.
Cut it again. Yeah. Whoa.
And I think he
He's done
knows.
that a couple of times, so I think he might have backed out just a little bit there, just to give Clayton that room. Final lap though, where is Smithy here? I think that's him there coming through Blanchimont now up to the bus stop. So kept it clean all race, very consistent. Best lap 2:17.4. What a lap that would have been to witness. 2:18.1 last lap. Basically just another class performance, and takes the split red win
The leader has
for
finished the race.
the whole season. So very well done to him. Who is the... Does anyone know the Pro-Am winner? I'll have to have a look.
Luke Johnson, I think.
Might be Johnson. I'll have a look.
Oh, you mean in the overall?
Yep.
Not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm looking now, so it's fine.
There you go. So Samwise gets himself up from a P10th that he started into 7th. I remember that. Johnson is coming through for the Pro-Am win.
It's actually Fahad Ghafour who's won Pro-Am.
There you
Okay.
go.
I think Janice might make her coffee Irish in celebration for giving
Yes,
some
I was
good
gonna
news there as
say.
well.
Very well done from him this season. Very well done to all the drivers. What a season it has been. Split Blue Mullock was Bruno
I
Gallo.
think. Yeah.
Big recovery drive from Gallo.
Good old Gallo in the fairs.
The Ferraris absolutely dominated Split Blue. They were
Oh, yeah.
Very, very good. Oh, so Gafour wasn't done fighting for that final.
Oh, he's
step
got a
up podium.
drive-through, though.
That's
Oh,
understandable with the amount of
That's-
cuts he had over Radion there.
he's got it late.
And
And
that's been converted to an 80-second penalty.
that'll switch back to 30.
Ooh, will it? Okay.
Yeah, because that's the default. You didn't serve your drive-through before the end, which you couldn't have.
Yeah.
So Sanchin coming through as well. So Frustock will take the AM class as well. So that's very well done for him. Bendik has maintained 14th. In fact, he'll inherit a 13th for the Bendik fan club. He'll inherit a 13th courtesy of Gafour's penalty.
He will indeed.
He is not doing a donut or anything like that though. So
That's a bit disappointing. Where did Gallo finish in the race? He finished P7
7.
in the race before, but of course P1 in the championship.
That's it.
Yeah. Just see Bilko coming across the line now. So we'll just wait for the server to tick over, but What a season it has been.
It has indeed. And Smithy with a big win for both this race and for the entire split. Outstanding performance race after race. Look forward to seeing how he does in the Pro Class Finals.
Yeah,
So-
very much looking forward to seeing that.
So there we go. Overall
Give it all you can.
race. There we go. Smith, Floyd, Baldwin in the top 3 there. Gibbons just missing out to tip of the podium. So Chewietz gets pushed all the way down to P8 off that penalty. That hurts a bit because he had done such a great drive, but just pushed those limits a little bit too many times. In the Pro-Am, Johnson, Girardi and Clayton in the Jag on the podium. That counts. That's an outstanding drive. Really, really well done.
It is.
And Gaffor's position will be a fair bit higher
Yeah.
based on that, but there'll be a post-race amendment. And Prustock, Matthews and Leonard Scott for the AM class. So there was that penalty to Matthews that he did get. It was a 15-second penalty, which is why he's just behind Prustock. Now, granted, he probably could have just dashed off and not given the place back and maybe even snuck a P1 that way, but he did, I think, the good and right thing and made sure that he and Prustock got a battle to the end, and that we'd love to see.
Can we just, for one last time this season, go on board with a Jag, check the driver ID to make sure that they're leading on a high note, and say goodbye to that fugly steering wheel?
Oh, it's terrible, isn't it?
Why can't I?
Can you find the right
You
camera?
see, even the game doesn't want to see it.
I was gonna say it's the game.
Yeah,
Game's like, no, I don't want to. No.
Bilko's on track, I think. So try his car. See if it'll.
That's not
Look how depressed that driver looks. Look how sad he
Oh,
is.
that's depressing seeing a Jaguar. It just won't let you. Ah, fair enough.
There we
There's
go.
check your driver ID. Yeah, that's disgusting. That's revolting.
Why? Just, I don't get it. Good riddance to the Jag.
yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye to the Jag.
So we see Demolition Derby.
Wreckfest ACC mod.
There you go. They're having fun. As we all did. That
We
wheel
did
is filthy.
indeed.
I mean, I didn't think the wheel was that bad, to be honest.
You
Yeah, it's not
shut
great.
your mouth, James.
Yeah.
Your filthy mouth. Ah, dear. All right, well, that is one more regular season in the bag. We have the finals starting next week. So we'll be at Nürburgring. I'll have to check myself to see exactly what the schedule looks like, but I think it's pretty similar.
In 2 weeks, yeah, not next week. Next week is Mazzano, 8 hours.
Oh, so we have a break. So the Masano, obviously, there's the NA1's races tomorrow during the day for our time. So check those out. But yeah, midnight at Masano next weekend. So that is going to be cracking. And I think we've said when we've had the night races that ACC looks outstanding in the night. So that should be really great to watch. I will not be commentating because I'm in a 2-man team. And I'm going to be hurting myself. But that's okay. It'll be good
You'll
fun.
be right.
All right, so thank you, everyone. We will see you at our next one. So you'll hear us as a commentary group next. Well, you guys will be in the pro final, so this might be our last one. I think this is my last, or I'm not commentating again next season. So this will be our last dance for now between the three of us. So thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a lot of fun all through the season.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been great fun.
Look forward to next season. I'll only be back for one split next season. Won't be doing the two just because time consuming. But sad to see you not commentating for a season, Jamie. But I'm sure you'll still be here in the chat, harassing us all.
And in your nightmares.
Yeah.
But there'll be more seasons, that is for sure. Either way, I'm going to head off to bed. Thank you very much once again. And we'll see you all next time.
Cheers, guys. Don't forget to
See you
like on
later.
the way out. Have a good night.
Absolutely, get on it.
you.